Welcome, everybody, to the Hit the Ropes podcast. What y'all, pink girl in her pink world, Delores, and the good brother J News, where we review and preview all the things that are happening in professional wrestling, also indie wrestling too, from around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, my good brother J News got something to tell y'all. Well, you got to tell these good people this good afternoon, J News.
It's Sunday, May 3rd, 2026. It's currently 1:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there's a lot of things that we have to discuss outside of reviews and things of that nature. Now bringing forth different topics to talk about during the week as well, as we touch upon different things that happen across the land of professional wrestling. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope folks are in good spirits. And let's get the show on the road.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, fighting with my computer today, so sorry if it's a little slow. But we're about to get over to the Hit the Ropes Topics studio. Oh, here we are. Look at that. Breaking news. Me and J News, we got it going on. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start out talking about our first topic, which I called it New Day. It's a new day. Yes, it is. As you see, the New Day has left WWE, and some other people were let go. The New Day actually did not get fired. They negotiated for them to leave because WWE asked them to take a pay cut, and they said, you can stick it where the sun don't shine. Okay? So, J News, how do you feel about what we learned this week?
Well, this news came about yesterday, I would say early afternoon, and things of that nature. There were other WWE departures, let's call it, outside of the New Day, formerly known as JC Mateo, aka Jeff Cobb, was also released, and so was Tonga Loa of WWE's MFTs. Tonga Loa, one half of the highly decorated tag team, the Gorillas of Destiny, with his brother Tama Tonga. So Loa's gone, JC Mateo is gone. There seems to be some confusion about other folks who were put on the WWE alumni page. So we'll see if there's any confirmation that comes out about them. I haven't seen any of that confirmation come about yet. But in regards to the New Day, I think that this shocked a lot of the wrestling world. And it was one of those situations where, at least based on my understanding, like Delores said, there was, some discussion there in regards to the New Day's current deals that they had just signed in 2025. TKO came back to the table with the New Day in regards to restructuring their deals. The New Day, as in Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, not Big E Langston, just Kofi and Woods, did not like what the restructuring looked like, or were not satisfied. Whatever the case is, they didn't agree with TKO on the basis of the restructuring, so they mutually agreed to part ways. So as of yesterday, the New Day members of Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are counting down their 90-day non-compete because they will not be on TV any longer. Same thing goes, not same thing, but that's Woods and that's Kofi. I'm not too sure as to what the deal with Jeff Cobb and Tonga Loa is. They asked for their releases, or if they were just released outright and it just came at a later date and time. But yeah, they're no longer going to be appearing on WWE TV going forward. And there was some confusion there. I think there were some fans who saw Akira Tozawa on the WWE alumni page yesterday, and they thought that he was getting released, but there's not been any confirmation on that. So there hasn't been, and I haven't seen anything reported across any of the sites, or WWE that hasn't come out and said anything themselves directly. So yeah, um, more releases to come probably throughout the year, because this is just what the nature of the business on the WWE side of things are. Uh, so I'm not saying to expect anything tomorrow or later on in the week, but definitely sometime throughout the year, you'll see more talent continue to be released, because TKO, as most major corporations do, always try to find a way to cut costs in order to save money and pad their executives' pockets. And this is the easiest way to do it. So there is that. So I wanted to say that about this particular bit of news. I'm sure that Woods and Kofi will find themselves in good situations. They were with the WWE for over a decade. Both heavily decorated tag team wrestlers. Obviously, we not obviously, but for those who don't know, Kofi Kingston is a multi-time singles champion, be it international, intercontinental champion, U.S. champion, WWE heavyweight champion, many times over tag team champion and whatnot. Kofi had a great career with WWE, almost 20 years with the company, and Woods, as I grew to know him uh, in the late aughts, as Consequences Creed over on TNA. When I watched TNA, he came over to the WWE in 2010, joined their developmental system, that FCW / NXT system, came to the main roster at about, I think it was about maybe a little earlier than that, but he came to the main roster like about 2011, 2012, debuted with R-Truth, and then ended up in a tag team there for a bit, and then there wasn't really much going on with Big E after Big E left his group with AJ Lee and Dolph Ziggler. So they took it upon themselves as three men with not much creative to group themselves up together, come up with a storyline and characters for themselves as the New Day, and we got to know them as the fun-loving trio that they were for a long period of time. And then when E's injury unfortunately happened, things went down. The guys had to shift focus. There was a storyline maybe a year or two ago at this point where the New Day, as in Kofi and Woods, turned on Big E, making them heels. But I felt at that point, after that point in time, that they didn't really do anything with that a particular bit of character evolution or involvement or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Too much with it outside of them just wearing ridiculous ass costumes and whatnot.
Listen, them costumes, I tried to find, I couldn't quite get it clear enough. The one where they look like they were at a funeral.
Yeah.
That one was the one that I was like, that's T. I got that.
But, from a character standpoint, they didn't really do much with them there, but that's their WWE lineage as for now. Very highly decorated. I'm sure they'll eventually become WWE Hall of Famers, but from what I understand and believe to know, their wrestling careers are not done. So we shall see as to if and where they pop up next within the next 90 days. But the New Day are very highly respected and very well loved group of gentlemen in the wrestling business. So props to them for sustaining their careers as long as they did with WWE, and onwards and forwards for them in the future. Same thing for guys like JC Mateo and Tongaloa. I'm not too sure what Tongaloa is going to do. Jeff Cobb probably has some options, depending as to what he wants to do, because I know travel for him in Japan was getting tough near the tail end of his last New Japan run. So I'm not too sure if he would want to go back to Japan. Not too sure if AEW would be interested in him at all. So going back to the Indies is always going to be a choice. And Tongaloa, Yeah, I'm not too sure what he would do at this
I
point in his
think
career. So
they thought that JC Mateo would be. I'm trying to think of his name. He is the. I think he's married to Mia Yim. I forgot his name just that quick. But you know how he used to be like a big, quick, athletic, big man, and that's what they thought they were getting in Jeff Cobb. But at a certain point, Jeff is he's kind of slowed down a little bit, and so the quick big man wasn't in him as much anymore, and so they really didn't know how to use him other than oh he's a like Jacob Fatu is a quick big man. You see him moonsault, he could jump up quickly, moonsault off. He's very athletic. That's kind of what they thought they were getting, and when they didn't get that, they didn't know how to proceed with him. Tama, is it Tama Tonga? Yeah, Tama Low. They don't really know how to use him as well because again, not as athletic, a big man, but what can you do when he's limited? I think, and I don't know if you saw, they've been making this. They have, and also other indie people who have worked with have been making a big noise since Will Cruz has entered NXT. And they looking at him as the next athletic big man. And if you've ever seen those clips, I think I might have sent it to you, going around with him flipping, dipping, cartwheeling, almost just, I mean, coming up with incredible moves as a big man. That's what they were hoping maybe Jeff Cobb could do. As far as the New Day, I hate to hurt people's feelings when I say this. I give WWE credit for not doing WWE. And that means the bar is in hell when I say this. They normally would have not let them go. They would have had them stuck. For them to grant them the releases, they are becoming somewhat, not all the time, the bigger person in the situation. Because they normally are petty. They are petty. And they will hold on to you. You are screaming. We have seen people online screaming that they want to get out of their contract, and WWE is like, nope, I got you. This time they decided to do the right thing. I also saw a video where people were posted around that you ever saw that they were at like getting ready for WrestleMania and was like, man, this jacket is fire. This jacket is fire. And then Seth comes out with the smoking jacket and then and then Kofi goes, oh my God. And he's like, what? And they turn the camera and Woods has this smoking jacket on her. And he was like, this is it. This is it. This is the cap. This is I can't take it no more. And they are rolling this clip that they made as like as a funny goodbye to them to say that this is what set them over the edge to quit. This is, I think they have great potential. I think AEW is in their future because they can do so much what they want to do. Woods is really good. For those who don't know, Woods was out on injury for a long period of time. He fought his way back. I think I told Jay News at the other podcast. I went to the same physical therapist as him. She works you, okay? She will work you. And he had to work hard. And he came in there more than I did. We didn't interact because we came on different days, but he came more than I did. And he really put the effort in to get back to wrestling and also becoming, I think, being a WWE lifer, or as quoted on one of the podcasts, WWE said that there is no more lifers. There is a certain expectation that you can do things as a young man when you don't have any responsibilities except for yourself, maybe your family. To Woods has a child. their responsibility becomes a little extra. So, do you want to sit around, get your check cut just for the fact you can say you're a WWE person? Or do you want to go out there and make money and you know you can make a good amount of money? I roll the dice on yourself. And he also has the YouTube channel. Woods is very successful, very well. So I think this is an opportunity that was needed for them to bet on themselves. Again, Sasha and Naomi bet on themselves. It has worked out great for them. Why not do it for yourself? You see the template. Cody has done it. There are many people who have bet on themselves and it worked out very nicely. Why not at least try? That's another conversation for another day that I want to have with Bailey. Ladies and gentlemen, the next topic for today, it is Shane Hayes won the GHC heavyweight championship on the Noah pay-per-view. Jay News, what did you think about this?
Yeah, this was making the rounds on the internet yesterday all day via social media and whatnot. And I don't particularly watch Noah on a regular basis, but when I saw this come across, I said to myself, "Wait a minute, Shane Hayes just got back to Noah like maybe a week or two ago, and they gave him a title match against Itamura." And from what I saw of the match and how it all went down, it was a very well worked, very good storytelling in ring wrestling wise, and Shane Hayes did the damn thing, and he won the GHC heavyweight championship, the same heavyweight championship that has the lineage of such wrestlers as Mitsuharu Misawa and Kenta Kobashi. And Shane Hayes has always leaned on towards the Noah side. He hasn't been able to find his way back to New Japan in recent years. For whatever reason, I don't necessarily understand as to what the reason is there, or don't know, should I say, what the reason is there. But he found himself back doing singles work in Noah in recent weeks and got this title match, and they decided to give the man the strap. And it's not that it's well deserved at the end of the day, because he hasn't been back long, but he does have a long history with Noah. So maybe I should change my tune about that. Maybe it is well deserved on that end. But at the end of the day, I think Shane Hayes is a tremendous professional wrestler, Australian-born dude, one of the original members of TMDK. Happy for him in this way. I've been seeing him recently wrestling on ROH TV, back with the TMDK tag team with him and Mikey Nichols and stuff like that, doing their tag team thing. When he popped back up in Noah a couple of weeks ago just on the singles tip, I was very surprised but happy for him as well, because he finally gets to do some singles wrestling and whatnot. And then when this came about and this happened, and I saw this yesterday, I was like, wow, professional wrestling is still a place where dreams can come true. So shout out to Shane Hayes for putting in all these years of work in professional wrestling, inside and outside of the ring. For folks who don't know, Shane Hayes is also one of which is why I always thought it kind of odd that Shane Hayes didn't make any appearances over in Japan. He's also one of the instructors over at the New Japan Academy over in LA. So it begs the question as to what happened there. But great opportunity for him as GHC heavyweight champion, should I say. And hopefully this run is a good one for him. And he's that this particular run begins to put him in a different stratosphere, and people can see him in a different light, and maybe he can have all the different types of matches, singles or otherwise, with folks that he's always wanted to. I know that his next defense at Noah is going to be against Kenta, so we'll see as to what version of Kenta we get in that match with Shane Hayes. But that's going to be one to definitely look out for.
Yes, I keep up with Noah, especially when they combine with other people. Also, their YouTube channel has been um, more stardom too, more active as far as like you remember back in the day, you might get some here and there. They're very like daily, weekly, putting out content, showing matches. So am able to keep up a little bit more because I don't want to buy another app. You all do not know I'll be like $400-500 in all these wrestling apps, and so I'm trying to take J News advice and save a little bit. Okay. But also a show that I don't watch anymore. I refuse to watch it. Okay. But I did see this clip and saw what he talked about. Was for the next topic of Trevor Murdoch retiring. I am not an NWA fan. That's one show you definitely won't catch me talking about unless they collab with like a WWE or AEW. That ain't gonna never happen either. So you ain't gonna worry about me. But J News, how did you feel? How did you feel about Trevor Murdoch retiring? And it seemed like everybody's retiring at this point.
I thought it was surprising because this came about yesterday as well. It made the news rounds and all that stuff. I thought that um, for one, I didn't necessarily know where this was airing. I don't know what Comet TV is, and that's where NWA Power is airing nowadays. So there's that about it. But when the clip aired, specifically about Trevor Murdoch retiring, he made a very heartfelt speech to the crowd. Thanked the crowd, thanked the fans, thanked everybody that he could throughout his career. 27 years in the professional wrestling business. My first um, my first encounter with Trevor Murdoch on TV was on WWE TV, maybe over 15 years ago. Trevor Murdoch was with the WWE for several years at
Yes.
that point. And then he was then released, and then he continued his career on the Indies and things of that nature.
GCW,
Yeah,
IHOG, all those.
yeah. I then saw during the pandemic when NWA Power was on fire, to say the least, specifically on YouTube and whatnot. Trevor Murdoch was a mainstay on NWA television or televised or recorded shows or streamed shows for the last 7 years. And
He was an old school wrestler. That's his character. The
yeah,
old school wrestler like Arn Anderson, uh, the American Dream. They would have, and I found this picture, but there are other pictures of him like old school with this like lavender blue suit with the title, or him like working man taking pictures with the title. That was his whole like all American man's man was like his character in NWA. And if you all do not remember in GCW, he would come sometimes and it would be like his characters were like country, hillbilly, big man, fight, meaty men, slapping meat kind of thing. And so I always appreciate that no matter how the character changed, it still was that he was all this all American country boy out here fighting for the rights of, you know, to get his way to the top, like kind of thing.
yeah. That's who he was, man. Just uh, a man who was trying to work hard and make do and do the best that he could. He mentioned during his very emotional speech that professional wrestling helped him put two kids through college. I thought that was very significant for him to even talk about and or say, and that the business has given him more than he's ever thought that it would. And he specifically thanked Billy Corgan for extending his career because he thought his career was over about 7 years ago or so. And when Billy Corgan came a calling to have him on NWA TV, it extended his career several more years after that. I've always like Delores said, just seen him as an old school type wrestler, very akin to the territory days and things of that nature. So when this news came about yesterday, I thought it was significant because he's had a very long career in professional wrestling and people have encountered him in different promotions. So I thought it was important to bring it up as another professional wrestler calls it a career.
Yes, 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 yes. We've been seeing everybody, and the fact that it broke my heart that he was like, his voice was crackling. He's like, I just don't think I can do this anymore. And it was like, even I think as far as NWA, I would have watched it more often, but it became a train wreck after a while. And then we had what's his face, the one that looks like the devil, um, him and Coke Gate and all the rest of that. It became bad. It became horrible to watch. And if you know me, you know I'm an absolutely fan crazed Smashing Pumpkin fan. I can sing lyric for lyric. I know you like Delores, you rap Cardi B on top. Yes, I do. I have multitudes of things. I can even sing you Ozzy Osbourne to the top of my lungs. But I watched because I'm like, okay, I know him from Smashing Pumpkins, but I know he in plenty of interviews had mentioned he was an absolute fan of wrestling. And that he has his promotion, he's gonna change it around, he's gonna make it great. And it started off good, and then it turned the corner and it went downhill. So I did see when he started making him champion, doing more, putting him out there, kind of giving him interviews and different things. It it did extend his lifespan in wrestling, but I just wish this whole comment TV. I just had to search the internet so I could find the actual clip that you see here of this because I couldn't go any further than that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on to the next topic, which was Reba Rebels. A lot of people call her different names. ALS fight, ladies and gentlemen. She came out to explain that she has ALS and that is why she has not been wrestling, and why her look and different things had changed, which I find heartbreaking. As somebody who is going through my own personal things, it's difficult for people to understand why you just not doing something, why you're not looking a certain type of way, why you're doing something. And I felt for her that I'm a small fish. I thought I said fish. A small fish in a big pond. I don't have to tell anybody anything because you all see me and I'm very open. But for her, that had to be heartbreaking that you have to get on the worldwide internet and explain your medical problems and your suffering to people. Yes, they were very supportive because of things you've heard and seen and you've had to go through that you just like, I need to just get ahead of the story and explain myself. That's why I put the heartbreaking emojis behind because it broke my heart to see this and to see this video she made. It it made me feel for her, and I hope that listen. I hope there's a cure for everything in the whole wide world, but I hope that the pain and suffering that she has been going through to get this diagnosis, that she can at least get some type of better as far as like I know it's never gone away, but to not hurt and suffer anymore. J News, what do you think about it?
Yeah, this is one of the first things I saw on my timeline yesterday come up, and I knew that prior to the announcement that she made about that she made yesterday, she had already been dealing with different health ailments and stuff like that. She had been back and forth through many hospitals. She mentioned the Mayo Clinic, so then that puts in perspective to me that she had been having um, issues with some sort of cancer. I believe it was lung cancer beforehand, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
And she's been gone through a lot the last several years, and that within itself is sad, and that within itself gives I would think would give anybody with a heart um, a sense of empathy towards her, because no one wants to ever see anybody go through and suffer through those kinds of things. And then for her to make the announcement that she did yesterday about where the first thing that she said was that they finally found out um, what the problem really was. And then she came about talking about ALS, which to those of us who are baseball fanatics understand it or know it as Lou Gehrig's disease, and it's one of those things that is, like Delores said, it's heartbreaking at the end of the day, because right now, regardless of how much um, testing and trials and this, that, and the third, ALS has just been something that they haven't been able to um, combat from a medical standpoint. And when she made the point to say that it was something that was terminal, something that she's come to grips with, something that she's accepted, and that she doesn't necessarily know how much longer she has. Um, I couldn't help but feel for her. It just made me sad, and to see her go through what she's already been going through, and then to have to announce this, um, which was such a sad thing to see and hear. But the silver lining in it all is the outpouring of love and support that she's getting from the wrestling community, letting her know that she's loved and that she's being thought of, and that people are out there praying for her and things of that nature. So I think that within itself can hopefully bring her a sense of healing. So that being said, I want to make sure to send positive vibes and many well wishes to Rebel Tania. And yeah, man, it's just a sad circumstance, but she was strong enough to make the announcement and put it out there, and you got to give her credit, and for how strong she's been and her willingness to fight everything that she's been going through the last several years. Now on top of everything else, with now dealing with ALS. So she's a very strong woman, and she seems to be very loved within by her close friends and loved ones. And so hopefully that can give her continued willpower to continue to push forward.
Yeah, I was having a discussion with somebody about this, and they were like, "How could they just?" And I'm like, "There are diseases such as ALS, lupus, different things that you have 9,000 billion symptoms, and they track each symptom. You see a person for each symptom, but they don't never know the cause. And they understood because they know my medical history, and I've been through everything. And they're like, but how can you not know a cause? You never. Sometimes some people will pass away and never know the root cause of what ended their demise. Some people will find out, but they might find out too late. Some people, it's just a game where you have to go through these people. I tell people, advocate for yourself. If you don't feel good and you feel like I've tried everything, tell them, hey, I want to try this. I see this. I want to do this. You are in charge of your body, and no matter what they say, you know how you feel. And the fact that she was going through these symptoms and going to different places and not getting the true proper help she needed at the time because they were just focusing on one thing and not the whole thing in totality. I understand her pain and I feel for her. And now that she knows this and she feels like she's on a limited timeline, she's having to deal with that. And I think she has kids, don't she?
I have no idea, Dolores. I have no clue if she
I
does.
thought she had kids.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, she has to deal with this with her family, with her profession. She's essentially lost her livelihood at this point. She won't begin to deteriorate when she won't. With ALS, you deteriorate and you not able to walk, not able to talk. These are things that you know is coming and you have to sit and accept. And for her to accept it means that you've come to the point. I think sometimes you're so glad you at least know what it is that you can kind of accept what's about to happen. Because as long as you don't know, you're upset, you're sad, you're going through things. You don't know, you guess at what might happen in the future. When you know what's happening and you know what's going to happen, you can take it a little bit better. And I appreciate her coming and maybe bringing light to something that somebody else may go through. I tell you all the time, I think that sometimes you go through darkness and troubles to help the next person. There might be a person out there who have the same symptoms, going through the same things, that her story will help them get to a better ending as far as knowing it faster and working on it faster than she was able to go through. And I know it's tough, but I appreciate her coming forward and telling her story, because she could have just said I had ALS and just that'd have been it. She could have put a statement out. But to her to tell her complete story may help save someone from a lot of the pain and suffering she had to endure. With that being said, the next story is about uh, Anna J telling her side of the story. She's setting the record straight. Her boyfriend says after 10 minutes, I can say it. He said, fuck Sean Ross, okay? He said, you know, F the manager, but also F Sean Ross. And she said, and I quote, I didn't want to say that. And he said, well, both of them. And she says, well, yeah. When you saw this, J News, what did you feel about this little live she had?
I feel like a lot of the time there seems to be two ways talent approaches rumors about themselves that are out there, or that are put out there, or reported news that's put out there about them, from the quote unquote dirt sheets or the wrestling journalists and things of that nature. They either don't address it at all and just let the speculation fester, or in Anna Jay's case, this past week, she decided to address it, not only because it was something that was festering via reporting and wrestling websites, but it started to make its way onto social media, and a lot of the information was misinformation and not true at all. To speak on Anna Jay's portion of it all, Anna Jay came on her live stream on Twitch, which she's been doing a lot within recent months. She's been live streaming a lot, um, and she came on there solo dolo and decided to set the record straight, as Delores said, letting people know that all the information that people see out there about her in regards to who she's been in contact with, or whose contact information she might have, her feelings on how she's being utilized in AEW or lack thereof, and all that stuff, that all of that is false, all that is a lie, and that the information came from someone she used to work with or was working for her.
It was a former manager that she fired, and
yeah.
I laughed because I'm trying to word this in YouTube words. Jack did the going across your throat signal immediately as she said the manager that used to be out, and he did the like out of here sign, and that's what I was like, okay, him telling Sean F him could have been, I took it as they got this funny banter back and forth. But this is the second time in the week where Sean has been in a week and a half span. Sean has been cussed out. Zelina was also upset about how Sean put the information out. She had a little nasty word for him. And then you see what you got to flicker him off. And so I'm like, is Sean now going from being the good guy to now people are feeling like he is the villain in the situation? Because I think I even saw some dirt sheets people talking about how they may have been like how people and wrestlers are portraying them as the villain when all they're trying to do is put out information. Hey, Tin, how you doing, Tin?
Hey, Tin. To close the loop on this Anna Jay thing, I feel like a lot of wrestlers this is my it's my preference, right? It's not necessarily right or wrong or the way it should be done. But I feel like if wrestlers don't want misinformation or bad information about themselves out there, do your due diligence and do stuff like Anna Jay did. Do for lack of, I know um, how villainized he's been over the last week or so. Speaking about Aleister Black, aka Malachi Black, aka Tommy End, I give him props because he always would come out and clarify reports and things of that nature that were out there about him. And he would go out there and either deny or clarify things and whatnot. So uh, I'm of the side of wrestlers coming out and defending themselves and setting the record straight. With Anna Jay's case, it's because we hadn't seen Anna Jay in over 160 days on AEW TV. Nobody knew what was going on. Everybody was figuring, hey, her contract is up soon. No one knew what soon meant. Obviously, she's still with AEW after all these months. The last time she was on AEW TV was in November before yesterday's episode of Collision. But Anna Jay did confirm on her live stream when she did debunk all the rumors and misinformation that was out there that the only thing that was true is that her contract is coming up soon. As per what her future is going to be with AEW, she did not elaborate or say anything to pacify fans and things of that nature. But the only truth about what has come out about Anna Jay in recent months, weeks, months, and stuff like that is the fact that her contract is coming up soon. So, hopefully Anna Jay continues to get opportunities to work and grow and get better on TV, like other young ladies have on AEW. And she's one of the ones who's been there since not even the very begin, not the very beginning, but close to at the end of the day. So, with that being said, to Jack and his, flipping off of SRS and stuff like that, I don't playful banter. I think people like based on what in regards to what Delores just mentioned about Sean Ross Sapp and him becoming the villain and stuff, whatever the case is. The dude's job is to report news that he gets from what he believes to be viable sources at the end of the day.
I think
And
Zelina's issue was he reaches out. He used to. I don't know if he still does. Allegedly, I don't know. He used to reach out before he put information out and be like, "Hey, I got this. I'm about to put it out." Whereas she wanted him to reach out and she put the information out to her fans. I was released, this and that. The information was just put out.
I've never known him to do that before, Delores, to be quite honest.
But I know he said he's reached out before putting out information for other things.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I can understand if I'm about to get fired for a job, I don't want all my family to find out from you. I want to tell them myself. But before I can pick up the phone, you heard them put a blast. You done got on the internet and be like, Lord, I lost her job. That would be heartbreaking to me because it's like, I wish they would hear from the horse's mouth instead of hearing it from secondhand people, because I remember vividly him even calling some people and them saying that they didn't know that they were about to be fired until SRS called. So maybe she just wanted that time to kind of, tell her people her way. She has every right to be mad about that. That Jungle Boy thing, I think he was just mad about it. He's not really upset, like angry he want to punch Sean Ross Sapp in the face, but he was just angry about he's had bad press with Sean sometimes, and Sean has had some commentary about his wrestling, and then my girl is over here and she is getting things said about her from a person who no longer works with her, and you have never probably called and had a conversation with to find out the truth about what's happening.
See, that's where I have to step in with that, because understanding and knowing people who know Sean Ross Sapp as a person, as a journalist, the kind of job that he does, he knocks down or he knocks on as many doors as possible before he puts news out, which is the part I have a problem with people villainizing him, right? To your point, Dolores, Zelina has all the right to be upset about that news coming out before she could tell anybody. But the fact also is that this has happened before, right? Where people get released, he gets this information. The first thing that he makes sure of is that the talent has gotten that information before he puts it out there. Now, if she was contacted and she was told she was being released, that's all that to him. I'm not saying this is right or wrong, but this is the truth. To him, that's all that matters. So Zelina already got the information. It doesn't matter if her family got the information or her fans got the information or not. If she was told she was released, he's good to go to post this news. And that's what happened.
That's how he feels. I think she just felt like, hey, give me a second. Because I think the way she described it on that live was like, she got the information. People started calling her. She's like, why is everybody calling me? Information is out. I've already been fired. Like, there was no, because from my understanding, WWE gives, or somehow he finds this list as WWE is notifying these people in real time. So they are notifying these people. He has the list. And things are happening. And when he puts the information out, that's why I think he started one time calling people, was because WWE would give him the list and not tell nobody nothing, and then it would come out. So he wanted to kind of eliminate that, where she's just like, if you hear it at 8, give me like 9 o'clock before you say something. And like if you heard it at 8, I heard it at 8:05 and 8:10, you already got it out. So I think that's the issue she had. Jack Perry, I don't think his is really that big.
Yeah, no, I think that's
he's just being a goofball. The whole live, the whole little like all the rest of that, he was just being goofy and wild. But I just thought it was funny that this discourse, even Brian Alvarez and them talking about dirt sheets being betrayed in a bad light or whatever. It's like, some of you all, not all of you all, SRS is really good, and that's why I follow him. Some of you all take it to the limit of assuming things. They don't have no creator for Bianca. Bianca is out here and this and this and this and that. Bianca, da, da, da. And then come to find out the girl is just pregnant.
They made up a term for that. They call them aggregators, right? These are the people who like to aggregate onto the bits of news that they've heard, and they'll editorialize, as they say, onto this bit of news and whatnot. I wanted to, because Anna J did the whole thing with the stream, but Anna J also got on Twitter that day. There's this very specific account. I'm not going to give the account any credence, but this very specific account on Twitter, who quote unquote has an AEW bias, right? As in, he's a big fan of AEW, but the way that he or she is, man, I don't even know if it's he. But they side on everything with AEW in that particular way. But the way that they report or post things or word things just makes them out to be a real jackass the majority of the time. And they posted something in regards to Anna J's situation. And Anna J came out and replied to this particular account and told them to shut up because they don't know what they were talking about. And it was the first time I had seen Anna J ever respond to anyone like that. And I was like, she's tired of this shit.
Not only is she tired of this shit, but we have seen repeatedly, not just her, repeatedly, when you have these conferences, these phone calls, and people are asking these questions, and Tony goes, I don't know. I have to look into it. I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't know. I have to check and see. I've never heard about that. That's throwing gasoline on the fire that we don't know where she's at. She's not responding and telling her side of the story. People have pretty much figured out from when she signed the last contract, when her contract was up. Tony has been asked about it. He's like, I don't know. We'll just have to say, I don't know. He's dodging the question. It kind of feels like And we have had this incident when it happened with Cody, when there was a we will see. We'll I don't know. We're working things out. I don't know. And then Cody leaves. It's that whole thing of with Tony, we don't know what's real and what's fake. Even with Jericho, we didn't know if he was leaving, he was staying, what he was doing until he popped back up. There is always this level of mystery, which should be there, but when she is forced to say, "Hey, yeah, my contract," she still never in that live explain explicitly why. Like why?
Why what, Dolores?
Like why hasn't she been on TV?
Right. Well,
Not just
remember, for all intents and purposes, um, she's still employed there, right? So,
yeah,
and she, yet again, to the point I made earlier, to the point you're making now, yeah, she didn't necessarily clarify as to why she's been off of TV, but she also didn't clarify as to when her contract expires either. So,
yeah.
that's
But, I
that's
mean,
that's
Tony has been petty just like WWE has been petty.
Yeah,
So
so and it's tough nowadays, especially in the wrestling business, regardless of how many places there are to work. You're not trying to burn bridges, right? And that's been a conversation that's been a topic of conversation throughout the week as well with other potential free agents in the coming weeks and months and things of that nature and stuff like that. So with Anna Jay, it's a sensitive situation, not necessarily knowing as to maybe she's making a decision of whether or not to continue to wrestle. We don't necessarily know. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and so that's the thing about it. If nobody's answering,
yeah.
again, I tell people all the time, if you leave it up to somebody, they just gonna assume what they're gonna assume. Now, whether or not you should put that assumption on TV,
Right.
I
Correct.
don't think you should.
Yeah.
But if even like with Bianca, when I said, "Oh, it looked like she might be pregnant," I don't know. I said I don't know. I'm not gonna get on like some of these dirt sheets and be like, "I know she pregnant. I know for a fact. That's why she ain't been here." That would have been irresponsible of me because I'm not for sure. I can only guess. I can only assume. I mean, as a woman, things start clicking. And even Montez mentioned that he was eating good when she was eating good. It clicked to me that there's a woman and that might be the scenario. I understand her finger is hurt. And I've seen pregnant people have procedures during pregnancy. That didn't phase me to not think she wasn't not pregnant. Okay. But like Becky, I wouldn't have guessed she was pregnant. My life depended on it because her and Naomi, because I saw them wrestle. They didn't just have an injury and then disappear for months and months and months and months and months on end. So I think that's the thing about it. Dirt sheets need to be a little bit more responsible. Some of them are. SRS is very responsible. But we have some people who shall not be named that I can't trust them. I have to do a little grain of salt. Because they might say, "Hey, Jay News is going to appear on Monday Night Raw." I tune in. I don't see no Jay News. I tune in every week on Monday. I don't see no Jay News. Then next thing I know, I turn my TV on a random Wednesday and Jay News is on AEW. And then I'm like, "Sir, did you know what you were talking about? Or did you just guessing?" Because if you were guessing, say allegedly or I think so. Don't tell me he gonna guarantee be on Monday Night Raw. Because that's leading your listeners and the people who watch you to think that that's true. And it's not. That goes for all YouTubers. Be more responsible. That's how some of y'all getting sued. It's because you say stuff and you make it sound like it's true. Like you selling somebody something, doing something that's not true. If you ain't did it, if you don't know it's true for a fact, don't say, "I know. I think so." Allegedly, I'm just coming up with a guess. Those are words you could have used. As far as Jack Perry, I like saucy Jack Perry. But as somebody said in one of the comments under the video, you got all this energy for Sean Ross Sapp, but you didn't have all this energy for CM Punk. I died laughing. I died. Ladies and gentlemen, Oh, what you gonna say, Genius?
No, what I was gonna say was, is, you know, a lot of this is one of the main reasons I stay offline, because people just don't understand what nuance is, and people don't pay attention close enough attention to the details because details are important. You wouldn't be saying some dumb shit like you didn't have this energy for CM Punk if you understood. Well, that's a legal matter he can't talk about.
He was no. That's the no. They were talking about the fact that when in the video he didn't have this much energy
I
in
mean, at
his
the end of the
face.
day, what was he supposed to do? He was surrounded by 16 other wrestlers. They were
Listen,
separated right away.
J News, let's be honest. They were face to face for a good minute when he
Yeah,
could have popped his stuff.
they
He
were
could
they
have popped
they
his
were
stuff.
they were chit chattering at one another.
Listen,
He
we
said
know the
something.
hood. We know how it go. He don't know the hood, but we know the hood. When you face to face, I ain't gonna back down what I feel and say about
That,
you. It ain't gonna
that
stop just because you in my face.
that's fine. But CM Punk went at him first physically and whatnot. All they were doing is just they were barking at each other, and then that perked people's ears up. You start seeing people get emotion just at them barking at one another. Then CM Punk pops off physically for some dumbass reason and whatnot, hits this kid.
Listen,
And
we
then
ain't gonna talk too much.
the,
I feel my boy. How
the,
much talking do we need to do?
the,
Either you buy this action or you gonna shut your mouth. One of them others.
that's why people end up in jail for dumbass reasons.
Throw
Right?
your
That's
throw
why
them
you end up.
hands.
That's why you end up with legal matters and NDAs and freaking what's
This
that thing?
man has been talking about it. The crazy
Restraining
thing
orders.
is everybody has an NDA except for the man who started it. And he is right here telling everybody about it. And
Restraining
then
orders, all that stuff, man. Look, at the
I
end of
died
the day,
laughing. And to this day, every time I watch that video, and if you go back on YouTube, somebody puts the video of CM Punk telling his side of the story of what happened that day to the video that Tony Khan puts out. And it feels like he is narrating this whole video. And I was like, did you see the video when you went and told your story? Because you narrated, you was like, he up there throwing his hair. He did that. And I'm telling you, if you know me in real life, there ain't no way you gonna get in my face and we gonna talk smack like this. And I'm just gonna flick my hair and just soft spokenly talk to you. That's not gonna happen. And the fact that I appreciate saucy you now. Maybe that incident brought the saucy you out. Because sometimes you'll realize I didn't do enough in that situation. Maybe that was it.
maybe. But at the end of the day, all that's under the water now. Water under the bridge, as they say. As you,
Also, you ain't gonna mess with your girl. Listen, you ain't gonna mess with my boyfriend. I ain't gonna mess with your girlfriend. We ain't gonna talk about nobody.
yeah, that's that. I don't think that's ever been a thing, but you know, it. Folks always need to think 2, 3, 4, 5 times before they go ahead and do something and get involved in any sort of a physical altercation, let alone a verbal one. So I just want to
because people don't do the same. This ain't the same as it used to. People used to scrap and get up and move by their day.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
that's not the way of the world in 2026, right?
They don't do that no more.
Yeah.
If I beat you, you want to fight me, I beat you, then you call the police. Like, why? What was that same energy when you want to fight me? Because if you had to beat me, you wouldn't have called the police.
Yeah. But we'll see. Hopefully things work out for Anna Jay for whatever she wants to do.
She'll probably be back. She'll probably be back, especially after this has gone viral. So maybe she'll be back more.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, with the ladies outside of Sheeta, the ladies that Willow has been taking on this comeback killer tour, they've only been doing one-offs. So Camille hasn't been back on TV since she took on Willow. I'm not too sure as to what Anna Jay's going to do. Sheeta's been on TV every week since, and I believe it's just been them. And Aminata. And Aminata hasn't been back on TV since she faced Willow, or whatever the case is. So at this point, I'm not necessarily knowing. what the women's division in AEW is going to be working itself out to be. But I hope for the best for Anna Jay, because she seems to be a good girl with a good head on her shoulders. Her wrestling has improved over the years. They need.
She's
I
really good
believe.
at hardcore matches. I really love her.
Oh, she's yeah. I mean, she lays it all out when it comes to those hardcore matches. I'll give her that. And it's for her, just like I said, definitely thinking whether or not she wants to continue to do this. Not saying it's based on anything that she says or that she said and whatnot, but maybe there comes a time for certain people in their careers where they just want to pivot. Maybe it's an option for her
Yeah.
to want to pivot into something else. So there's that about it.
Speaking of the AEW women's division, our last topic has to do with somebody who is injured. It is Persephone out on injury. J News, you brought this topic. What do you think about it?
Sad, man. I enjoy Persephone on TV. I think that she is a very talented young lady. I first saw her on CMLL live streams because I have the subscription on my YouTube channel and stuff like that. And she has a very unique look. She's a power wrestler, as they call it. So a lot of finesse, a lot of power in her game. And whatnot. And then she started making her rounds on AEW TV, and I thought that was a good look for her, just for exposure standpoint. Tony Khan stated that she was injured during a match with Julia Hart, but in accordance to those who follow Lucha Libre way more closely than I do, it seems that Persephone was injured beforehand, before that Julia Hart match. She had been walking around in a boot in different towns in Mexico, getting on the microphone and apologizing to the fans that she couldn't wrestle and stuff like that due to injury. So now that the injury is now made public, it is being said that she's going to be out for an indefinite amount of time. It's a foot-related injury, or people say ankle, so I said foot-related. So I don't necessarily know what the specific injury to that happened to Persephone is, but she is going to be out for an indefinite amount of time. Hopefully, it's nothing that she can't get over. Foot/ankle injuries can be tricky. To use one of the hugest examples of the world in the last couple of years, you can look at Adam Cole and Buddy Matthews for both of those things. You just don't know how these foot ankle injuries are going to react. But I'm hoping for the best for Pettis as she's on the rebound and rehabbing and stuff like that. Her place in Supercard of Honor is going to be fought for on this week's episode of ROH Wrestling. It's going to be Zeta Steel is going to go 1-on-1 against Hyann. They're going to fight it out to see as to who gets that last spot in that. It's like more or less like not a gauntlet match, really. Survival of the fittest match, they call it, right? With all the ladies for the ROH Women's Championship. So that spot's going to be fought for between Zeta Steel and Hyann, and we'll find out this Thursday who gets that last spot. But well wishes and speedy recovery to Persephone, who I think the world of, and I think that she was really starting to ramp it up on AEW TV. For this injury to happen, it just sucks to see. But hopefully she rebounds and she'll be able to pick up where she left off.
Yeah, foot injuries normally sometimes can take up a year to 2 years. They normally try to let you heal on your own, like beginning to heal. They know. Listen, from my first-hand experience, I had an older person tell me, you're going to have to have surgery every time I saw them. And I was like, no, they say it's going to heal on its own. No, they try to see if it's going to heal on its own. Then you eventually have surgery, which could take months to half of a year. And then it's just the waiting game. Because for me, I ripped the ligaments in my ankle. Pothole took me out, stepped in it, twisted it. Thought I had fractured it, but really I ripped out the ligaments away from the bone. It took about almost a year and a half, almost 2 years. I really wasn't healed enough to go back to work, but I like my money, so I went back. Uh, if you don't take care of it right, it can get worse. But foot ankle injuries are nothing. I tell people I have never had a broken bone in my body, but the pain and excruciating pain I felt when my ankle was ripped apart is a pain that I never wish on my worst enemy. Okay. Well, maybe some people, I don't know. But it's like, so imagine as a wrestler, you used to up being mobile, being able to do, and your ankle and stuff is messed up. Yes, crutches are an option. Walking boot is very helpful, but it doesn't get you faster. You have to, like with Bianca Belair, try to see if your finger hurt. Like her finger, they tried to see if it was going to heal on its own. It didn't, and she had to do surgery. So with the ankle, it's the same way. You have to see if it's going to heal. If it doesn't, then you have to do surgery, which sometimes feels like a pain. You wish you could just jump to surgery, but those things, you have to give it time. And I know she really was excited for being able to be on mainstream TV, show off herself more often, and it's being cut short like this. But I think you're gonna bounce right back. You're very athletic. You're very she's very beautiful. She can do a lot of things right now outside of wrestling to set herself up for when she comes back to have a bigger and better fan base.
She's hella young too, which adds on to it. I think she's like 23, 24 years old. So
yeah,
she hopefully she's able to rebound and she has time.
Yeah, she has time. Listen, them young folks. I specifically have an example where I was on the floor and I saw a girl walking down the hall, and I asked her, I said, hey, she was pulling the little thing, she was walking, she was talking about being discharged in a couple of hours, and she's like, girl, I want to go to the club. And I was like, so why were you here? Like, you seem like you're healthy. And she was like, I just had a baby like 4 hours ago. And I was like, ma'am, you just, listen, couldn't have been me. I still would have been in bed crying. But you young people, you jump up and you like, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, listen, I used to be like that. And then I don't know about J News, when you get older, your body tell you, you were never ready to go. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of our Hot Topics with the Hit the Ropes podcast, me and J News. Now it's time to slide over to the studio where me and J News are going to go to the back. And we're going to start off with WWE. Well, start out with a review. I'm actually going to make a graphic for that. It's WWE, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start off with Raw. Raw episode 1718 on the 27th, which was on Netflix. We have a non-title match where Penta defeated Rusev. The WWE Women's Intercontinental title match where Becky Lynch defeated Io Sky. We had a Rey Mysterio defeating El Grande Americano. We had Obafemi defeating Grayson Waller. And we had the Judgment Day of Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez defeating Bayley and Lara Valkyria. J News, did you have anything you wanted to put this on this?
The only things I can remember about Raw is that Obafemi continues his own version of an open challenge. So I wonder who's going to be taking on Obafemi next week. They're still doing the extended storyline there with the Judgment Day and Finn Balor. There was one point during the show where Finn was seen in the back speaking to Roxanne Perez after Roxanne had left, talking to the other members of the Judgment Day. Finn basically trying to tell Roxanne to get away from them before they turn their backs on her, and things of that nature. So letting Roxanne know she can't trust the members of the Judgment Day. The Becky Lynch versus Io Sky match was decent. I think something came out of that match. I'm not too sure. I believe Asuka interfered in this match, and her and Io are finally going to have it out at Backlash. And then the Penta versus Rusev match, that included other talents, but I'm definitely forgetting as to what happened versus Penta and Rusev.
It was essentially everybody involved in the ladder match came and got involved.
All right, so there's that.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, J News is going to come back to the back with me. We're going to go on over to NXT. It was on the next night on the 28th on the CW. It was episode 835. For the WWE North American title match, we had Miles Bourne defeating Shaquan Sugars. We had EK Prosper and Sean Legacy defeating Birthright of Channing Lorenzo and Uriah Connors. You are. Every time I say that man name, it never comes out right. Lizzie Rain defeated Nikita Lyons. Non-title match, Kalani Jordan defeated Ren Sinclair. We had Shiloh Hill defeating Ricky Saints. Do you have anything to say about that? I enjoyed that they gave Ricky a nice send-off at the end in the crowd as they, wished him well because they knew he was leaving.
I'm always gonna say this anytime she's on TV. Justice for Ren Sinclair. I've been a fan of Maddie for years, and I think that she is the bee's knees. I don't miss an episode of Wednesdays because I think that she is hilarious. Her and Kendall Gray have great chemistry at the end of the day. So having Kalani Jordan beat Ren Sinclair, who's currently the WWE Speed Champion, is like, what are we doing necessarily? The main thing I got from NXT this week was all the different debuts, which is what I wanted to mention specifically about NXT. We had the debut, the first match of the formerly known as Rain Leverkusen, now known as Lizzie Rain, on NXT TV. Rain from the UK coming over to the States here, giving us her energy and making sure people know that metal will never, ever die. I thought she had a tremendous first match here against Nikita Lyons. Nikita looked good too, in the ring, that is. And she did her thing as well. But obviously, they have a lot of, I think that from what we saw, based on entrance and how she was being presented here, it seems like the WWE is going to have a major investment in the aforementioned future of Lizzie Rain going forward. So nothing but praise for Lizzie Rain on her first match. She looked like she belongs. Didn't look green at all. It was a good physical match between her and Nikita Lyons, and I can't wait to see more of her. We then also saw, I believe it was during or after Miles Bourne defeated Saquon Sugars. We got some debuts from some guys from Evolve, cutting promos or coming down to there was a Tristan guy. I don't even know who that guy is. He had a I would say a British accent and whatnot, and he was cutting a promo from the crowd. I'm not sure as to who that guy is or where he's from, but obviously he pertains to the Performance Center, so he's going to be a character there. And then there was another debut there in regards to that particular segment, the North American title segment. After that guy Tristan debuted, so there was that. And then somewhere in between the show, Tony D came out to cut a promo about where he's going to go and what he wants to do with the NXT men's title. And we then get the debut and appearance of former New Japan Wrestling heavyweight champion, known to those of us as Evil, made his appearance.
I was like, God, listen, this is what I'm going to come on camera for. If anybody knows that I hate Evil with a passion, okay? It's a deep crawl in my soul. So when he came out, okay, initially the music hit, I was like, I'm going to be frank. It's hour into this. I said, oh my fucking God, I think that's Evil. And then when he kept walking out, I was like, God damn, that's Evil. And when he got in the ring and he revealed himself, I was like, fuck no, it's Evil. But then I was like, you know what, Delores, at least you should be glad he is not on Mainstay TV. He is on NXT. And then I was like, okay, I can calm down. But then I popped shortly after that when I saw Will Cruz, because I was like, if you have not seen Will Cruz, I swear he's a human highlight machine. And when he did the moonsault onto twisting moonsault onto Tony D, I was like, you can't. The only thing I did not like about that segment is they referred to Will Cruz as a fan who came out of the stands.
Right. Yeah, they did that. And they also did not have a name. Uh, uh, so ARD in the building. They what you they didn't have a name for evil. So there had been some reports come out during the week that the name Nox Raijin had been trademarked by
Jesus Christ.
WWE. They think that that's the name that they're going to go for with Evil. We don't know as of yet, folks. I'm not putting that out there as news. That's just been a name that's been trademarked by the WWE. We shall see as to what Evil's new name in the WWE comes out to be. Evil chose to go to NXT so that he can learn the ropes and learn the WWE style, which I give him credit for. We'll see as to how it all comes about with his.
Go ahead and say it how you normally say it, J News.
What?
When you say evil's name.
Evil. Yeah.
Evil.
But he we'll see as to how it all breaks down with Tony D. I think that's gonna be his main line feud for the coming weeks and whatnot. And then, like you said, Delores, when I saw that big man moonsault and land on Tony D, and then he flipped his hoodie off, and I was like, I immediately went to my phone and I wrote to the homie SP3. When the hell did Will Cruz sign a contract with the WWE? Because this was kept under wraps. And
it had been when I don't forgot the indie show over in indie company over in England, but they put out a vignette showing them telling that he was leaving to come to America to be a part of WWE. And then they start showing all the highlights of the moves he calls in his repertoire and all the things he does. And it was a human highlight reel. And I was like, I need you to do this in WWE.
He does some pretty legit and ridiculous stuff. The chant that they have for him in the UK, he's big, he's bad, he'll power slam your dad, like that. Like this guy, Will Cruz, man. The times I saw his matches, either from Progress or the stuff that he had been doing on Noah before he came to the WWE, I was like, yo, this dude's impressive, man. I feel like he has a bright future. I just didn't know that he was even in the looking mirror for the WWE. And when that came about and he debuted and they didn't have a name for him and they proclaimed him to be a member of the crowd, I was like, why you gonna do him like that, man?
I'm like, that's Will Cruz. What you talking about? What you talking about? I was so bad. I was like, this is great. He showed who he is. He's standing there like, is that a fan from the crowd? I was like,
a fan from the crowd. I was like, yo, you just made the announcement that we got the debut from a former IWGP heavyweight champion, and you can't give Will Cruz a little light? Like, what's wrong with y'all, man? Like, listen, for all intents and purposes, the men's division has they, at least with all the call-ups in the last couple of weeks, has a huge hole. If they're plugging those holes with the likes of Evil and Will Cruz, that men's division is looking up. You know what I'm saying?
Most people forgot it. Most people, from my understanding, is not just it's suggestions, not just for the main roster, but if they feel like a person can be plugged into NXT, that is the new job of AJ Styles, is to find upcoming talent. And he sees New Japan, he sees Progress and the rest of them. He probably saw that man and was like, "That's the man you need to go," because it looked like somebody AJ likes high flyers and people who can do things. That's the person. Now, Evil had been talked about way before AJ had retired, but Real Cruz is somebody I consider that he would look at and be like, if anybody, you need to find that man right here because he can do a lot of things that they probably would have never saw on their radar.
So, to clarify on that, there is a certain recently retired superstar not named AJ Styles who was a big fan of Will Cruz. That man's name is John Cena.
Oh yeah, John Cena does love him.
John is a big fan of Will Cruz. Saw Will Cruz's works months ago, so I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know, not reporting his news, but I wouldn't be surprised if John Cena got in somebody's ear and said, "Hey, keep your eye on this kid," especially in the UK, because William Regal still does the same work for the WWE as well. He's a talent scout as well, so I'm sure he has his pulse on the talent over in the UK as well. But Will Cruz, I think, is a big pickup. Obviously, Evil's a big pickup because of all of his years of experience at the end of the day. So, he might not have WWE TV experience, but his in-ring experience can help out a lot of people, especially those younger guys on NXT. So I think that's a good pickup for NXT in that regard as well. And
David Finlay, even I want to know, and this is just an inside thing. Did Will look at David and go, "This is an entertainment company, and you really, no offense to David Finlay, but he's not that." It's like watching paint dry on a wall. Not that great of entertainment for me. For me, speaking for me, and go, "This is not a good fit for you," or did he get the offer and he didn't think it was a good fit for him?
That's what was reported. That they lowballed David Finlay, and so he just went where they offered him more money.
Yeah, but I mean, they might have been doing like, "I'm gonna do your dad a favor. Your dad wants you here. I really don't want you here, so I'm just gonna lowball you something. Here you go, take that little change." And he was like, "No." You know how, like, I hate to put this analogy out there. Your mama asks you to do a favor for a neighbor that you don't really like. So you half-ass do the favor so they don't never ask you to do it again. I feel like WWE is like this sometimes, like, "Oh, my daughter wrestles." "Oh, she do? Let's give her a try." She ain't good. You done seen it already. You already know. But you do it, and then you go back to the person like, "I don't know. I mean, maybe we can hire her at $50 an hour." And then they go, "No, that's no. My daughter deserves more." "I'm sorry, your daughter. That's all we got right now." But you come back and hire Real Cruz for like $100 an hour, and you like, I think WWE, that's the statement they put out to, I don't forget who it was that I saw. It might have been SRS. That there are no longer no WWE lifers. That lets them know we are about business, not about friendships and who you know and what you are. They put that statement out. TK put that statement out to let you know it ain't about who you know, it's about what you do. And I believe a lot of the cuts they had, my New Day left on their own, but a lot of the cuts they made were people who did not do what they thought could be done. You bring the Motor City Machine Guns and you thinking high flying, kicking butt, regardless of age. People always say it's their age. Their age doesn't mean anything. We've seen older wrestlers who do incredible things. Doesn't mean, isn't like Randy not too far in age from them?
Yeah, I mean, they're all in their mid to late 40s and stuff like that. But
yeah, so like if Randy can, give me weird, crazy things, if Cody can do weird and crazy things, I'm assuming that when I hire you, you should be able to keep up because, quote unquote, age wise, those people are keeping up. You should keep up. But when you're not giving me that thing, I'm about profit. If you're not making me that profit, I'm not selling a lot of your merch. Ain't nobody really coming in to see you. You got to go. And I think at this point, they talked about getting rid of Triple H. Oh, you heard about that story? They were gonna get rid of Triple H.
No, because he just signed an extension with TKO.
Yes, but they talked about getting rid of Triple H before the extension.
Yeah, no, that's probably that was just probably some information put out there to take the for people to
They
run
were
with
not happy with his
or whatever the case is. That
bookings
yeah,
and
nah,
different things.
nah. There's stuff behind the scenes that we don't know about that happens
But yeah, because they said
anyone knows.
that Undertaker said he didn't want the position. Shawn Michaels said he didn't want the position, and somebody else at the time, Road Dogg said he didn't want it either. So they couldn't figure out anybody to plug in the position to take over if they got rid of her. So I'm like, they're about money. The bottom line is money with TKO. Also, shout out to Lance Anoa'i who slapped the dog out of that man. He dog. Okay. Now they're mixing wrestling with other of their products. They are taking this into another level where they want to make money from WWE and everything under their umbrella tenfold, 20-fold, 30-fold. And if you can't make them the money, if you ain't making them getting interviews, if you ain't out here selling merch, if your name ain't being talked about in the wrestling communities on these wrestling podcasts or different other things, they are eliminating it. Is that wrong as a business? No. Is it wrong that a lot of wrestlers are losing their livelihood and their big money checks? I feel for them. But again, I'm trying to figure out who in NXT is going to get cut next. Because some of them, even main roster, the lady with the purse, what is she doing?
The lady with the purse.
That's what we call her in internet circles online. We call her the lady with the purse. Some people call her a corn accountant.
Kiana James?
Yes.
They think very highly of her from what everything that's ever been reported.
But again, how far are you gonna keep her with her not selling merch?
It depends because it depends on what they're. So this is the other side of what you're saying in your line of thinking here, Delores. I understand what you mean when you're talking about the obviously the company being about their bottom line and being about their money. I get all that, right? But at the end of the day, you also have to, as a company, make sound investments and hire the right people, right? Don't just hire people to keep them away from the competition. Have a plan as to what you're going to do with those people and what their roles are going to be, right?
Yeah, WWE failing them.
So for all intents and purposes, the people who were released over the last week or so, by majority, right? By majority, most of those people were on WWE TV on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. By majority. Some of those people were in prominent storylines. Others of them, specifically, me speaking about Santos Escobar, that to me was a damn shame and a mockery of what the wrestling business is. They paid that, or they agreed to pay that man millions of dollars to keep him away from the competition so that he wouldn't walk away on his own terms. He then gets fired unceremoniously 5 months later with a triceps injury so that the WWE can say, yeah, we fired his ass. He didn't walk away. Because the way that wrestling contracts work, you're not supposedly tied to a company. You're an independent contractor. You can always be fired or released whenever they feel like it, right? But when it comes to wrestlers asking for their releases, they want to freaking drag their feet.
Yeah, and
Things,
that's why I say I think they
things in the
business when you
industry,
think about it can be cutthroat.
things in the industry have to be a little bit more. I want to
They
say,
won't come together. They won't make a union. They won't do none of that.
yeah, I
And
get you.
so as long as they keep accepting this, it's gonna
It's,
keep
it's going to
happening.
keep happening.
All
Absolutely.
the except for independents like GCW, HOG, all of those, they don't have these types of contracts.
Right,
But
because they don't make the kind of money in order for them to be offering this kind of content.
yeah, even little bits of money or whatever, you would think still if especially like contracts with up and coming talent that you see is about to shoot off into the atmosphere, you would want them to stay in this independent spot. But they are independents are more like go get your money, go get happy, go do whatever. Don't forget, where you came from, this and this and that. But with a business, if I know you know how to do something well, and you gonna go to my competitor and you gonna make them money doing the thing that you can no longer do here, I probably won't let you leave. Probably won't let you leave like you did. If I can hold you for as long as possible till your name becomes not as if they say J News is he talk like you do a New Japan Pro Wrestling, he's an expert. And I got a contract with you, J News, I'm damn sure not gonna let you leave.
And I can understand that, but at the end of the day, the reality is that folks or companies, not folks, companies, large corporations, they out here still thinking like massa, right? And I'm gonna say it
Yeah,
like that because that shit is real. Here's the deal with all this that happened, though, and you were talking about the Motor City Machine Guns specifically, right? With the Motor City Machine Guns, they didn't get old fast. The WWE just didn't book their tag team division in a better way, which didn't allow them to do the things that they were originally supposed to be signed for. That's
yeah,
not the talent's fault. That's the company's fault. That's when you have to take heed, evaluate, and reconvene to then do better by your talent. Because at the end of the day, you're not the only uh what is it? You're not the only company in town that provides the goods and services that you do.
yeah.
Right?
And but also you have to remember talent needs to when they get an opportunity.
They
You
they
watch
hit it out the
Unreal
park. They got
when you
tag team championships every match they had on SmackDown, banger after banger. It's not their fault that the tag team division got booked to shit. That's on.
the tag team division booked the shit, but you also have to remember if you watch Unreal that time, Montez was not getting no play. And he
Right.
said, I need to come out here during it was a chamber match. And he's like, I gotta show them what I'm made of. And he came in that chamber match and did incredibly, but he also cut some good promos ahead of the chamber match.
And then what happened to Tez? Absolutely nothing.
Taz didn't do nothing after that because they wanted to keep him in the tag team. And but now I admit Street Profits, Dawkins, and they need to break up at a certain point. They need to go. This is the first time in my lifetime I've looked at WWE and said, please break these two people up.
Oh man, I'm not this whole thing. I understand it.
Hey.
I understand it when it's on the talent because you can see it. It's visible. It's visible on your TV screen. This time around, this is just people cutting numbers to cut numbers. You cut Santos because you paid him all this freaking money and you had to get money off your books. You can't book a freaking tag team division, so you get rid of one of the most innovative tag teams in the last 2 decades in all of professional wrestling because you can't book a tag team division, right? You then get rid of an act that is on your TV, that is on TV on a weekly basis, and you have them involved in a current storyline for the sake of it.
Yeah.
And then the rumors, because I can't say that this is true or not, the rumors and the reporting that came about during this week about TKO not liking dark characters. It's like, who says that sort of shit? And who and it's professional wrestling at the end of the day. These are characters. What do you mean you don't like dark characters? What does that
They don't
even
like
mean?
dark characters because how can I explain this? Because you understand. I'm aiming at kids.
Ah, man, that's a bullshit argument. They've been doing dark characters since we were kids. That's not that. No, man, no,
But you
that's
gotta
not
admit, Jay
acceptable.
News, the kids of our day is not the kids of today.
It doesn't matter because it's not the focal point of the freaking
They
TV
get
show. He's
traumatized
one
sometimes with the door
character.
closing too hard.
Huh?
Kids nowadays, sometimes just slamming a door will traumatize them. So you think them seeing like our version of the Undertaker on their TV screen is gone? They thinking about the young
It's watered.
Disney kids.
It's
That's all
watered
they
down
thinking
to
about.
begin with. It's watered down to begin with. This isn't even Undertaker levels of freaking dark. Now, if we're talking about the Wyatts, understandable, but they didn't know what they were doing with the Wyatts from the jump. At the end of the day,
I think they were trying to capitalize off.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. When it on Bray's death, I get all that.
Yeah,
but they didn't know what to do with them. They didn't know what to do. Obviously, more than one wrestling company doesn't know what to do with Aleister Black, Malachi Black, Tommy End, or whatever the case is. At the end of the day, and this is me saying this. This is me saying this from my own personal viewing vantage point and viewing point from everything that's either been reported, rumored, or whatever have you. When it comes to Tommy and Aleister Black, brother, it seems to be that you're the problem. Go check yourself, see as to what you can do from a mental standpoint, reevaluate, and then attack the market again. Because something ain't jiving. Something ain't jiving. And that's not cool. And I've always been a fan of his because I was a fan of his from his time in the Sumerian Death Squad when he was doing tag team wrestling back in the UK. Like, I love his wrestling style, but for one, he's been injured over the years. He's slowed down quite a bit, and now he seems to be.
He's bigger than the program.
That might be the case. I don't know it to be the case, but it just seems.
Yeah, I know. I'm just putting something out there, and immediately when I think of him, if you all know I connect stuff, I think of the scene when it's like, I'm the one out here selling the records. I'm the one out here, and they're like, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. Okay, that's how I feel. That because if you watch his live streams with his wife or live streams, period, he talks about him and what he can do, the things that he offers, what he is, and it's like you're a small cog in a big wheel that is gonna keep moving without you. They'll replace the piece.
Yeah, I think I saw a clip yesterday in regards to Eric Bischoff was talking about this. And mind you, I don't pay much attention to what Eric Bischoff ever really has to say, but he had something very salient to say about Aleister Black and stuff like that. It seems that he has a very narrow approach and thought process to what his character should be. And he should be more adaptable and open-minded. And in regards to that, I would have to agree with Eric Bischoff in that sense and whatnot. All the other rumor and innuendo stuff about him not wanting to lose to people and him not wanting to do jobs and not wanting to be there. I don't know if that's real or if it's not. And he's come out himself, Aleister, and he's debunked that stuff. So whether people want to take that for face value or not is up to them. I'm just talking about, it just seems that he is a little bit, he's very nitpicky, and he's difficult about what it is that
I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit.
Right, exactly. There you go.
But my thing about it is, if I was him, I would look at it. I came from a place where I had all the freedom to be who I am. I wasn't controlled by my promos. I wasn't controlled by my thing. I had the freedom. A lot of people who come from AEW talk about I wasn't comfortable because I had Jay, for instance. She's like, they tell me to write my promos, to set up matches with my opponents. I'm new. I don't know how to do none of that stuff. I need a place to tell me what to do, where to do it, and how to do it. I understand that. But you wanted that freedom. You got it. And it started off fine and it just went to trash. Again, that's the Cody syndrome. Cody had a big head. I love Cody. Cody had a big head. But then we started getting the I Have a Dream speech promo and you doing crazy stuff for the gram. Then we in Cody Island. And that's how we ended up with you. You come back to WWE, you were doing somewhat good. You started, getting laying the foundation. Then you got control, and then you wanted to do this. You wanted to do that. You want to do this. So reportedly, you wanted to do these things, and then they like, okay, well, I don't think you should do it. You did it. It didn't work, and now you're gone again. And WWE is not AEW. They're not gonna take your lip and keep taking it. They're like, you work for us. We don't work for you.
Right, right. Which is where everything basically fell this time around. Like I said, I hope he lands on his feet. I'm a fan of his in-ring work. I'm a fan of his character work. I just
Yeah,
hope that he becomes more adaptable and more open-minded to what it is that his character can and cannot do to end that point. But after NXT, we go into SmackDown, right, Dolores?
Yep. SmackDown is on 1393 on the first. It was on USA Network. JC Jane defeated Charlotte Flair. For the WWE Tag Team title match, we had Damian Priest and R-Truth defeat Fraxium, which was Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Cody Rhodes defeated the debuting Ricky Saints. And if you saw that clip, that man went for a long time with that doggone intro. Royce Keys defeated Angel. We had WWE Women's Tag Team title match. Brie, Bella, and Paige defeated the Irresistible Force of Last Legend and Nia Jax. I love them, especially on social media. The MFT, Sokola, and Tala Tonga defeated the Usos of Jay Uso and Jimmy Uso by DQ. Jay News, any one of these matches you want to particularly talk about?
Not necessarily. I just want to praise Jacob Fatu and the work he's doing to continue to elevate himself in the WWE universe. So props to Big Oos on that one. Him and Royce Keys, aka Big Will Hobbs, they cross paths backstage during SmackDown. I didn't know whether or not they were gonna bring up their relationship. Thankfully, they did to give Big Oos a little bit different flavor and whatnot. So I can appreciate that the WWE doing that on SmackDown. JC Jane, I'm not a fan. I haven't been a fan of JC Jane in forever. I don't care for JC Jane. I find her boring. That's me. That's me speaking from preference and point of view. But the WWE has invested a lot of time and money in JC Jane, and they're going to ride those wheels until the wheels fall off. So props to her for getting a win over Charlotte Flair one-on-one. Based on that, the Fatal Influence try to beat down on Charlotte. Alexa came out to try to help Charlotte. They beat down Alexa Bliss, and eventually we got Mommy coming down for the save and helping out Charlotte Flair. As we all know, Charlotte Flair and Mommy have a history, that being Rhea Ripley, have a history. So we'll see as to how that storyline continues to develop over the next several weeks and months. As for the WWE Tag Team division, I already spoke about the Tag Team division on SmackDown not being booked in the best way. I don't care for Damian Priest and R-Truth as tag champions right now. I just don't. And those Fraxium boys, I understand they're living a dream, but hey man, I don't know what to tell you. Cody Rhodes versus Ricky Saints. We revisited this 5 years after the fact that happened the first time. Something else AEW did first that WWE is trying to piggyback off. And
listen, let the friends fight each other. They know each other very well.
That's fine. Ricky had a good debut promo out there, trying to heal it up and all that jazz. And
wasn't he out there for like an hour?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what the deal was, but
I couldn't, because I caught him as he was already in the ring doing his promo. I didn't rewind back. But on social media, it was the WWE ring. They had him where he came out and he did his entrance. And he kept doing his entrance. And then he kept doing his entrance. And then he was in his wrestler clothes. He was still doing his entrance. Still doing his entrance. And I was like, and then somebody was like, it was an hour later, he was still doing the entrance. And I was like, so he literally put off his clothes he came out with and had his wrestler clothes on. And he was still out there just doing the entrance. Like, and people out there still just out there just cheering and screaming their heads off. And I was like, if I was there, I would be a little mad that I'm for an hour, we're doing this doggone entrance. I know there was a commercial break in real time, but you out here doing it. Whoa, whoa, into before the commercial break, into the next out of the commercial break, I would want to fight somebody at that point. But you know, fans are fans, and they love it. They ate it up. So good job, Ricky Saints. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, J News coming back and back with me. We going to the greatest show on earth, Triple A. Triple A had a lot of promos and stuff, but only 2 matches. It was on YouTube last night. It was episode 16. Mini Vikingo faced El Hijo del Vikingo. Okay, which many this how bad El Hijo del Vikingo has went down. That Mini Vikingo defeated him. In a non-title match, Ray Phoenix defeated Laredo Kid. J News, did you see any of this?
The biggest spotlight of AAA on Fox last night was given to the contract signing between El Grande Americano, the current version, and the original El Grande Americano, Ludwig and Chad Gable. At one point during the contract signing, Chad Gable healing it up as the original El Grande Americano stated or made sure that the announcer stated a stipulation in the contract, basically having the ring announcer girl who is current, I forget what her name is, I'm sorry, very pretty young lady. She is currently Ludwig Kaiser's real life girlfriend. She in storyline has been fired from AAA due to her actions and being in a physical altercation with the original Grande Americano. She was relieved of her duties in the ring, told to exit the ring. She was escorted out by security, but before she was escorted out, she made sure to tell her man, "Whoop that old man's ass." And before we knew it, the tables were turned. The original Grande Americano leaves the ring. The current version of Grande Americano stays in the ring, and we see the return of Brutus and the Creed brothers, man. The Creed brothers came out and they attacked El Grande Americano. They put him through the table in the ring. So now Chad Gable has his stable back together on AAA, ready to get this match, this mask versus mask match, to new heights. That was the main story going on AAA this weekend.
Was it this weekend? I can't, because yesterday I watched so many shows. But wasn't it like a retiring thing that they had on AAA?
If it was, because I just watched the clips, I didn't watch the show. So if anybody was retiring, I wouldn't be able to tell you because those clips didn't come into my feed.
By the end of the show, I'll come up with the name. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to J News' favorite part, other than New Japan, is AEW. AEW Dynamite. We had, it was on the 29th, TBS HBO Max, episode 343, AEW TNT title match where Kevin Knight defeated MJF. We had the Brawling Birds of Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter defeating Emily J and Jordan Blade. We had the AEW International title match where Kazuchika Okada defeated Ace Austin. We had Adam Copeland and Christian Cage defeat RPG Vice, which is Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. We had the AEW Women's World title match where Divine Dominion of Lena Cross and Megan Bain defeated Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. We had Roosh defeat Stephen for J News can say it. For
Stephen Fuerte.
See, listen. J News know them fancy words. I'm sorry, go back. And then we had Darby Allin defeating Brody King. Anything you have to say on this match, J News?
No, I thought that was another good episode of Collision. Kevin Knight and MJF had a good match. They started off well. Kevin Knight, I felt like MJF wasn't gonna take that TNT Championship off of Kevin Knight, and I was right. Kevin Knight looked great in his defeat of MJF. MJF still wanting his rematch and his shot at Darby Allin's AEW World Title. But Darby keeps on telling or saying to MJF that he can't have his rematch unless he puts something on the line himself. MJF has yet to put anything on the line or come up with anything to entice Darby to give him a rematch. So we're still waiting on that from a storyline perspective. Kevin Knight now beating MJF puts Kevin Knight in line for a AEW World Championship shot. Good to see the Brawling Birds back. Alex Windsor, Jamie Hayter back together after Jamie Hayter had about a week and a half off due to an injury and things of that nature. So good to see the Brawling Birds back. Okada and Ace Austin was a really good match. Ace deserves more TV time because I think Ace is terrific. But Okada continuing to basically have his nerves irritated by Takeshita. Takeshita came out at the end of the match, basically signaling to Okada that he's going to take his belt, and Okada was furious at it. So Takeshita playing Okada's mind games at this point, so that's fun going into Double or Nothing. Cope and Christian did their thing against RPG Vice. It was actually a better match than people than it seemed like the internet was giving it credit for. But it wasn't anything to write home about, but it wasn't a bad match either. So Cope and Christian still working themselves towards this street fight I Quit match for the tag team championships against FTR. We then had the ladies of Divine Dominion just continuing their dominance in the women's tag division for AEW, defeating Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander. Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander are working a very unique story. From my vantage point, Hikaru Shida seems to be the one who's working more heel than Stat, but Stat at this point seems to be fed up with whatever she has been doing or whatever she has been doing in the past, and it seems that she has more of an edge to her now. Shida had kicked and suplexed Chris Statlander at one point towards an offensive role against the Divine Dominion during the match, but it didn't necessarily work to beat the Divine Dominion. There was a promo that was then aired on Collision in regards as to how Chris Statlander confronted Hikaru Shida about that and how pissed off Statlander was at what Shida did and how she's been acting. A lot of people are saying now, well, Chris Statlander is going to turn heel and Hikaru Shida is going to be a babyface. For all intents and purposes, I believe both of these ladies are going to go on their own ways, and they're both going to be heels, but they're not going to be a tag team for long. Roosh doing Roosh things, and then Darby Allin versus Brody King was fantastic to end the night. Kevin Knight was watching the match from the stands the entire time. Darby was able to get the win over Brody King. Lots of respect shown between Brody and Darby. But now we know for this coming week on Collision, we're going to have Kevin Knight versus Darby Allin for the main event.
Yes. Oh, and I know what it was, Jenny. It was the package from last week where I can't pronounce her name. Was saying that they were finding another general manager person to run AAA.
Oh, yeah. That became a thing. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So Jay News is going to come back to the back. We're going on to ROH, Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor was 164 on the 30th on ROHWrestling.com or the app. We had Konosuke Takeshita defeat Matt Menard. Shane Taylor defeated Mance Warner. Story Denali defeated JC Love. Leo Rush defeated Allen Angels. ROH Women's Pure Title Proving Ground match. Deanna Purrazzo defeated Remy Reed. Remy Reed. Why is it? I'm going blind, y'all, and you all know I need to go and get my glasses on. Top Flight, Dante and Darius Martin defeated Gringo Loco, and we had the inspiration of Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay defeat Becca and Maddie Max. Viva Van defeated Sarah Leon. Paid in Full of Big Bill and Brian Keith defeated Nick and Vin Parker. We had Christian XO of Charlie Bravo and Sean D defeat Frankie B. We had Don Callis family of Mark Davis, Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta defeat the TMDK of Bad Dude Tito That's when I knew that they were gonna lose. Mikey Nichols, and Shane Haste. Jada, did you see any of this?
I thought it was another excellent episode of ROH this week, man. It's interesting to see the talent that's going through ROH right now. Folks from the Indies. I didn't when I watched the episode and I saw that Shane Taylor was going to have a match against Mance Warner. I said to myself, "Say what?" I was like, "Wait a minute."
They've had one in GCW, but never.
No. I'm talking about Mance being on ROH/AEW TV. This is the first time I'm remembering seeing him on
Yeah, I
anything
think he's
related.
been there once before, but it was more like a hit and run. It wasn't
Yeah,
like
but I mean, it was good to see Mance here in a match versus Shane Taylor. Matt Menard seems to be a regular on ROH TV. Good work versus Takeshita there. Story Denali had her first singles match. Um, Definitely showing her improvement overall. Story Denali, just as an aside, was one of the Lodestone girls in the lost during the WrestleMania weekend in Las Vegas with Bailey. So Story has that particular seminar and stuff in her bag now. So depending as to whatever she might have learned from there, she can take that and continue to apply it in her wrestling career over on ROH. Leo Rush versus Alan Angels is actually very fun. Seeing Alan Angels back here and there on AEW TV/ROH TV has been fun because Alan Angels has done a lot of work on the indies to basically raise his stock. And I liked where they went in that match versus Leo Rush and Alan Angels. Deonna Purrazzo continues her winning ways. I feel like her as the ROH Pure Women's Champion is okay. They're not really doing much with her. I know she wants to be more. She wants to be on AEW TV, but I feel like there's some sort of a hiccup with the likes of Deonna Purrazzo and Billy Starks and Athena or whatever the case is with how Tony views them. Tony as in TK and how he views them and what their roles are supposed to be. So I guess I would tell folks to keep their eyes on that. Top Flight took on Gringo Loco and Soleil. Soleil being that main man, Reg, the man used to be known as Reginald, aka what was his real name? I forget what his real name is, but Gringo Loco and Soleil doing crazy acrobatics against Top Flight, but Top Flight winning on there. I'm glad that that Soleil's getting regular work on ROH on a regular basis, and glad to see Gringo Loco back on ROH. The Inspiration took on Becca and Maddie Max. Becca definitely continuing to prove herself in these matches, be it as enhancement talent on Collision and Dynamite and now ROH for the week. I would say keep your eyes on Becca to see if that's somebody that AEW eventually ends up signing within the next calendar year or so. Viva Van stood out this week because Viva Van used a new finisher, a finisher called the Ocean Cyclone Suplex. That particular suplex made famous by one of the greatest wrestlers of her entire generation, male or female, the one and only Manami Toyota. If you don't know who that lady is, I would recommend going on YouTube, putting her name in there, and just watching matches of throughout her historic career. But Viva Van used one of Miss Toyota's famous finishers to be her new finisher against Sarah Leone. I think this is like Sarah's fourth or fifth time working with ROH. So I think that's another particular young ladies talent outside of Becca that folks should keep an eye on to see if AEW/ROH signs them within the next calendar year or so, because she keeps on having a recurring role on ROH TV. Good to see Paid in Full, Brian Keith, and Big Bill back together. It's been a couple of weeks, maybe even a month since I've seen them together. They look solid. Christian XO, the other young lady who's a part of STP, Shane Taylor Promotions. She got her win against Frankie B here, and then a tag match that we would have seen maybe a couple of years ago on New Japan Pro Wrestling. Mark Davis, Rocky Romero, and Trent Beretta against TMDK is that bad dude, Tito. Mikey Nichols, and like I was stating before earlier in the podcast about Shane Haste doing work with ROH. He continues to do his work with ROH here. I don't know how that's going to work going forward, but I hope to see more of Shane Haste on ROH, working with Mikey Nichols as a tag team, because I feel like the ROH tag team division is strong, and they can definitely do something with them there. So it was another solid episode of ROH Wrestling this week.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Jay News is going to come back to the back with me. We're going on the collision that happened yesterday, episode 142 on the 2nd, where the Death Riders of Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, and the Dogs of Clark Connors and David Finlay defeat the Rascals, Zachary Rentz, Desmond Xavier, Myron Reed, and Top Flight of Dante and Darius Martin. We had an AEW match where Jungle Jack Perry defeated Mascara Dorada. We had the conglomeration of Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong defeat MXM TV of Johnny TV, and Mason and Mansoor. We had for the AEW TBS Championship, Willow retained by defeating Anna Jay. We had the Bang Bang Gang of Juice Robinson and Ace Austin defeating the Death Riders of Daniel Garcia and Willa Yuta. We had Sky Blue defeat Nikki XS. And for the AEW TNT Championship match, Kevin Knight retained by defeating Hook. Did you see this, Jay News, and what did you think?
Yeah, I saw this last night. I think it was another solid episode of Collision. Fun party match to start off the show, with the Death Riders and the Dogs against Top Flight and the Rascals. I think we said it last week as well, Delores, but I'll say it again this week. It seems like Dez got the memo, and he's now wrestling at 75 miles an hour instead of 50, and that's all he needed, man. That's all he needed at the end of the day. So I'm loving it. I'm loving everything these guys do.
Dez said, "I ain't gonna let that man and that woman talk about me like this. Not today."
So shouts to Daz, man, because at the end of the day, it's in him. So it's like, just speed it up a bit, brother. It didn't need to be 100 miles an hour. 75 is fine. So they got it there. They showed a promo package for Jack Perry before his match with Mascara Dorada. It was basically Jack Perry going on his own national tour in his jungle bus with Luchasaurus being his driver, and him driving basically across the country on this national tour. So far, he's beaten Mascara Dorada, Mark Davis, and I forget who the third person was that he's defeated, but he's defeated 3 people so far, which made it a little confusing for me when they booked a rematch for Mark Davis for the national championship for next Saturday's show. But Jack and Mascara Dorada was fun. The conglomeration versus MXM and Johnny TV, that was fun. It was more comedic, and then it was anything else, but they have their spots for that on AEW. AEW TBS Championship, Willow Nightingale versus Anna Jay, I thought was a solid match. It was a nice comeback match for Anna Jay. Like I said, I hope to see more of Anna Jay on AEW TV. I think that my belief is, at least that from my perspective, I feel like AEW's her home. She can definitely grow more and evolve more on AEW, and I hope to see more of Anna Jay in the future. So we'll see as to what happens there. Willow continues her defeats of these comeback wrestlers. I think that eventually we're working towards Willow having a match against Mercedes Moné again. I'm not saying it's going to be next week, but I think that's going to be like the final boss of the comeback wrestlers. So we'll see as to who fills the void of wrestlers returning and coming back this upcoming week against Willow, because they haven't announced that. The Bang Bang Gang versus the Death Riders was to me a match that was better than it had any business being. Wheeler Yuta at one point got busted open the hard way when he hit his head on the corner of a table. Wheeler was bleeding everywhere. That was not supposed to be a part of the match. That was an accident at the end of the day. But Juice Robinson and Ace Austin did their thing. The Death Riders tried to beat up the Bang Bang Gang post match, but that attempt was thwarted as the returning members of the Gun Club, Austin and Colton Gunn made their return to AEW TV. The Collision Cowboys are now back. I noticed this specifically. I don't know if anybody else did. I'll ask you, Delores, as well. Looking at Colton come down to the ring and walk around the ring last night, he seemed to still be having
Hurt.
quite a
Yeah.
limp.
He was kind of.
I'm yeah, like I'm not sure he's ready to come back. The post match promo seemed like he's back. The promo that he I mean the backstage promo they cut and they put online seems like he's back. The promo that they cut right after the match was over seems like he's back. But physically, just looking at him walk, not wrestling, just him walking, it doesn't seem like he's healthy enough to be back.
But it could be that he just something happened. Maybe he stretched, put you never know because sometimes uh I don't. Again, I can't speak for Jay News or nobody else, but when you get older, 1 minute you can be like, I can run through a wall, and then 2 seconds later you be like, my hip hurt, man.
Yeah, that
So maybe maybe he was fine 1 minute, and then
yeah.
the next minute he was, because a lot of those backstage promos are before the show.
Mhm.
So he could have been stretching and maybe just stretched something a little bit too much. And that caused him to limp. But I did look at him and think, okay, he still got to be hurt.
Yeah, he was limping around. He was a big gimpy. I'm hoping for the best. He had enough. He almost had a year off, if I'm not mistaken, to rehab his knee injury. So hopefully he's okay. If he's not, they shouldn't put him out there. So I just want to say that. Sky Blue showing off some new offense in her match here against Nikki XS. Nikki continues to get enhancement talent matches on Collision and Dynamite. So that's and ROH TV. So that's another young lady I feel like folks should keep an eye on for the future of the women's division as well. So she continues to do indie work as well. It's there, but like I said, Sky Blue for this match was pretty much showing off new offense and whatnot. Ended up tapping out Nikki XS in this match with a new submission hold. So that might be the way Sky Blue's going here with her single stuff. And then the TNT Championship match. I got to talk about this, man. Kevin Knight, you're great, brother. I got nothing bad to say about you, man. The Jet is the man that I think everybody should look up to, just like he says, man, because he's too flat, right? I am now in the bandwagon or on the side of the fence where I no longer want to see Hook on my TV. I can't do it anymore, guys. I can't. I wanted to give him. I wanted to give him.
Yeah, because we've been trying to get you over here, Jay News.
I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. I wanted to continue to let AEW have him grow and evolve. It just has not happened. And I don't know when it will happen, but it's not happening now. And like, yeah, that's it. Like this match wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. And Kevin Knight's been having great matches on TV as of late. So for this brought his match quality down a bit. And I didn't appreciate that. So there's that. But Kevin Knight retained. He now goes on to Dynamite to face Darby Allin for the AEW Championship, and in a match which I'm sure is going to be a banger. But I can't stand behind Hook anymore. I'm sorry, guys. Just can't do it. Delores, you're muted.
Thank you. It was we're going to TNA Impact 11:37 on the 30th on AMC. We're gonna be going through these a little bit quicker because these shows. I just want to say, I feel like I wasted my time. Jeff Hardy defeated Vincent TNA International title match, Mustafa Ali defeated Adam Brooks. Ali, Mara Sade, Rosemary defeated the Diamond Collective of Mila Moore, TB, because she made me sick, and Victoria Crawford. We had Mr. Elegance defeat the Hometown Man. This hometown gimmick is tearing me apart, and I can't stand it every time I see it. Walk with Elijah guitar strap match. Unnecessary and unwanted. Elijah defeated Frankie Kazarian. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to HOG. Okay, because they put on the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna talk about it. Glory at the Globe. Okay, was over there at the Globe on the 1st on Trilla TV. Ladies and gentlemen, we had Mike Bailey match. Listen, I like this match. Anytime I love Mike Bailey. I love Amazing Red, and when you put them together, you make all my kids' dreams come true. Mike Bailey defeated Amazing Red. We had the 5150, which is Danny Limelight and Slice Boogie defeat the main event of Jay Lion and Midas Black. We had Joe Alonzo defeating JJ Doe's. Listen, Giovanni. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Onyx, Payne, and Turboid. Okay, if you all see the last names that I don't pronounce them because they got them names up just so bad. Okay, Thunder Rosa, I enjoyed this match. Defeated Brittany Brooks for the HOG Cruiserweight title match. Darian Richardson defeated Raymond Bright. Sorry. We had HOG Crown Jewel match with Zella Fatu retained by defeating Lance Anoa'i. We had for the HOG Heavyweight title match, Charles Mason defeat Jonathan Gresham. J News, did you see any of this?
I didn't see any of the show, but I want to point out some stuff here. If folks haven't been aware, I just want to point out Thunder Rosa real quick. Thunder just signed a dual contract with CMLL and AEW, and Thunder continues to do now that she's feeling better physically and health wise, continues to do indie dates. So Thunder's keeping herself busy. I wanted to point out Brittany Brooks as well. Brittany's been putting in that damn work on the indies. Shouts to Brittany. I want to see her do bigger and better things. Zilla 2 out here fighting Cousin Lance. I didn't know that was the thing, but hey, it went down. Hopefully the match go well.
Was it last week or week before last? He fought Juicy. Now he fighting Lance. And that's what made me think when he did that, dropped that video a week ago when he was working out with Zilla. I'm not Zilla, with Jacob. And I was like, Humber, are you coming to WWE? I thought he was going to lose this match. But, Lance out here slapping people. So I don't know. I don't know.
And there's also the youngest Uso is the youngest Fatu is a wrestler as well. The youngest brother of Jay, Jimmy, and Solo. He's a wrestler as well. So they might have to bring him into HOG. But I did want to point out one last thing. Jonathan Gresham took the time out to post something on his social media yesterday. Yesterday or this morning, where it was a very thoughtful piece of writing about what he felt during and after the match that he had with Charles Mason. I'm paraphrasing at the end of the day, but he basically said that Charles Mason has this ability to extract this level of, he didn't know whether to call it intensity or brutality or whatever have you. But Jonathan Gresham basically said Charles Mason has this ability to get more out of Jonathan Gresham than other talents that he's wrestled in recent memory. And Jonathan Gresham wants to continue to have matches against opponents who do more of the same, continue to drive him to be the best version of himself and continue to drive him to evolve who Jonathan Gresham is now. So he's basically praising Charles Mason and his abilities, and also wanting to have these matches with these stellar and high talented wrestlers and things of that nature. I wanted to point that out because I knew that this match was coming. I know how talented Charlie is, and he just needs to be given a shot on a bigger stage. And for Jonathan Gresham to basically give him his stamp of approval is a big deal to me, because Jonathan Gresham is a wrestler's wrestler at the end of the day, and he's one of the best. And so for him to give him the cosign like that, I just want to see bigger and better things for Charles Mason, and I also want to see bigger and better things for Jonathan Gresham because he deserves it. At the end of the day, he's worked hard all these years across TNA and the Indies and everything else in between. So Jonathan Gresham deserves a bigger spotlight as well. So I just wanted to take the time out to say that. But I did hear that their match was really, really good. You're muted, Delores.
Jonathan Gresham matches work on the indies. I like them all. I've liked them all, but on TV, I don't like his matches that he has. I don't know what's not clicking on TV that's not clicking on the indies. But ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna move on. I'm gonna try to do this by myself, and I'm gonna mess it up. Okay, we're gonna see how many times J News gets on me. Okay, for CMLL and MLW coming together for CMLL Vernice is spectacular. Am I right?
Spectacular Fridays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. CML for CMLW. We had Los Hermanos Calavera. That's how you pronounce it?
That's right.
They're great. Calavera Jr. and Calavera Jr. the first and Calavera Jr. the second defeated Ikaro Kwan and Akamura. We had the Olympia defeat Lady Frost. We had MLW Women's World Featherweight title match where Shotzi defeated Gara Negra.
That's right.
MLW World Tag Team title match, the Skyscrapers of Bishop Dryer and Donovan Dajak defeated Los Infernales. Is that it? Averno and Euphoria.
Yeah, Euphoria. Yeah, that's right.
See, listen, I'm fighting for my life. Neon defeated Diego Hill, Angel de Oro, and Sabrinano Jr. defeated Austin Aries and Trevor Lee. Can't stand Austin Aries. And for the MLW World Middleweight title match, we had Tempario defeating Kushida to get the title. Did you see any of this, J News?
Only thing that came down my timeline about this show was the match between Shotzi and Garra Negra. Also, Olympia versus Lady Frost's match, and Templario and Kushida having a banger.
Yeah, I enjoyed that match, and I enjoyed the. Yeah, I enjoyed those. I would say overall I could have did without some matches, but I did like it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go on to my favorite time of the day, GCW. We're going to Express Lane. Get in the Express Lane, okay? It was on the first on Triller TV. We had Gringo Loco and Vendador defeating the Heavenly Assassins of Alex Divine and Chris Slade. We had Miles Hawkins and Post Game, which is Mike Walker and Vinny Talota. Listen, defeat BK Westbrook and Junie Underwood and Ryan O'Neal. We had a street fight that ended in a DQ where Vipers defeated Kerry Morton by DQ. It was a hot mess. One Commanders defeated Bojack, with Joey Janela defeating Ken Dixon. Great Excellent defeat Sal Mistera, the J News word, Mistera. We had Don Freeze, Ricky Morton, and Ruckus defeat Atticus Cougar, Christian Napier, and KJ Orso. We had Matt Tremont and the rejects of John Wayne Murdoch and Reed Bentley defeat Jimmy Lloyd, Lil Sicko, and Nino Extremo. Okay. On to the next night on the second. It was one night only. Okay. One night only. Listen. It was on Triller TV too. GCW Ultraviolet title DLC match was Matt Tremont defeating John Wayne Murdoch, Little Sicko, Nino Extremo, and Reed Bentley and Slade. Gabby Forza defeated Tony Deppen. B-Boy, Greg Excellent, Nate Webb, and Ruckus defeated versus Jimmy Lloyd, Junie Underwood, Ryan O'Neal, and Teriyaki ended in a hot mess express of a no contest. We had one Kyle Manders defeat Christian Napier. We had Gringo Loco defeating Vendador. We had KJ Orso defeating Ricky Morton. We had Vipers defeating Joy Janela. We had for the GCW World Title match, Atticus Cougar defeating Marcus Mathers. We had a death match of Nick Gage defeating Bear Bronson. Out of these two nights, I think night 2 was my favorite out of the two. Ladies and gentlemen.
Just to ask and to make sure to confirm here.
Yeah.
This show was the show where the viral clip is going around of where Joey Janela basically dragging suplex Vipers onto chairs off the top rope.
Yes.
All right.
Because the night before he faced Ken Dixon.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when I say I like both nights, a little bit of gore, a little bit of fun. That's what I enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna go back to the. I can find the back. The back just disappeared. Let's see. That's the bottom. We're trying to go to the back. Not that. There we go. Now I can see. As y'all see, the sun is taking me out. Now we're gonna go on to Jay News's favorite part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And we're going to start off with the road to Wrestling Dontaku.
Road 2. On the 26th of April, we had Daiki Nagai go one-on-one against Taisei Nakahara as Daiki Nagai picks up the win there as the senior young lion. The Knockout Brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice defeated Togi Makabe and Toru Yano. House of Torture members Chase Owens, Showa Yujiro Takahashi defeated Shota Umino, Tomoaki Hanma, and Yo. We then had where was I? Okay, the United Empire's Great Okan, Hanare, and Jacob Austin Young defeat Goto Revolutionary Army of Hiroki Goto, Tatsuya Matsumoto, and Yoshihashi. TMDK's Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, and Ryohei Oiwa defeated Masatori Yasuda, Reisuke Taguchi, Taichi, and Yuya Uemura. Aaron Wolf, Master Wato, Oleg Bolton, and Tiger Mask went up against the House of Tortures, Don Fale, Doki, Ren Narita, Yoshinobu Kanemaru. That ended up in a no contest. And then we had the Unbound Co. of Robbie X, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Ishimori, and Yoda Tsuji defeat United Empire's Callum Newman, Francisco Akira, Jake Lee, and Zane J. We then go on to the shows on the show on the 27th of April. We had Robbie X defeat Taisei Nakahara in a special one-on-one matchup there. The Knockout Brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice defeated the Great Bash Heels of Toki Makabe and Tomoaki Hanma. House of Torture members Chase Owens, Showa Yujiro Takahashi defeat Ryusuke Taguchi, Shota Umino, and Yo. United Empire's Francisco Akira, the Great Okan, and Hanare defeat Goto Revolutionary Army, Hiroki Goto, Tatsuya Matsumoto, and Yoshihashi. TMDK's Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, and Ryohei Oiwa defeated Masatori Yasuda, Master Wato, Taichi, and Yuya Uemura. We had Aaron Wolf, Oleg Bolton, and Tiger Mask, along with Toru Yano. They went up against the House of Torture, Don Fale, Doki, Ren Narita, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. That also ended up in a no contest. Unbound Co's Daiki Nagai, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Ishimori, and Yoda Tsuji defeated the United Empire's Callum Newman, Jake Lee, Jacob Austin Young, and Zane J. We then go on to the next show, which happened on the 29th. This was Wrestling Heizen no Kuni date. That went down on the 29th. House of Tortures, Chase Owens Show, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yuji Takahashi defeated Master Wato, Shota Umino, Taisei Nakahara, and Yo. The Knockout Brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice defeated Tomoaki Hanma and Toru Yano. Team DK's Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, and Ryohei Oiwa defeated Masatori Yasuda, Ryusuke Taguchi, Taichi, and Yuya Uemura. The United Empire's Great Okan, Hanare, and Jacob Austin Young defeated the Goto Revolutionary Army of Hiroki Goto, Tatsuya Matsumoto, and Yoshihashi. Aaron Wolf, Mystico, and Oleg Bolton defeated House of Torture's Dick Togo, Don Fale, and Ren Narita. United Empire's Callum Newman, Francisco Akira, Jake Lee, and Zane J defeated the Unbound Co. of Robbie X, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Ishimori, and Yoda Tsuji. And for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag title Lumberjack match, we had the champion Doki defeat Tiger Mask via referee's decision. After this happened, Doki decided to take it upon himself to take himself out of the Best of Super Juniors tournament. Doki, what are we supposed to do with you? So Doki is no longer part of the Best of Super Juniors. Thankfully, Daiki Nagai, member of the Unbound Code, but also still a young lion, begged and pleaded with President Tanahashi to be a part of the Best of Super Juniors tournament. Tanahashi granted his wish, and Daiki Nagai is now taking the place of Doki in the Best of Super Juniors tournament, as Doki is boycotting the Best of Super Juniors tournament. We then go on to the show that happened on the 30th of April. Robbie X defeated Taisei Nakahara. The Nakahara brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice defeated Ryusuke Taguchi and Toru Yano. House of Church members Chase Owens, Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi defeated Shota Umino, Tomoaki Yama, and Yo. United Empire's Francesco Akira, Great Khan, and Hanare defeated Goto Revolutionary Armies, Hiroki Goto, Tatsuya Matsumoto, and Yoshihashi. TMDK's Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, Ryohei Oiwa defeated Masatori Yasuda, Misago, Taichi, and Yu Uemura. Aaron Wolf, Master Wato, Oleg Bolton, and Tiger Mask defeated House of Torture members Don Fale, Doki, Ren Narita, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. The Unbound Code, Daiki Nagai, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Shimori, and Yota Tsuji. They defeated the United Empire's Callum Newman, Jake Lee, Jacob Austin Young, and Zane J. Yeah. We then go on to the show that happened yesterday morning, May 1st, the Last Road 2 show. For Wrestling Dantaku, Daiki Nagai defeated Taisei Nakahara. The Nakahara brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice defeated Tomoaki Hanma and Toru Yano by referee's decision. The House of Torture, Chase Owens, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi defeated Ryusuke Taguchi, Shota Umino, and Yo. United Empire's Francesco Akira, Great Okada, and Hanare, they defeated the Goto Revolutionary Army once again. Hiroki Goto, Tatsuya Matsumoto, and Yoshihashi. TMDK's Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, Ryohei Oiwa defeated Masatori Yasuda, Master Wato, Taichi, and Yu Uemura. Aaron Wolf, Mystico, Oleg Bolton, and Tiger Mask defeated House of Torturers Dick Togo, Don Fale, Ren Narita, and Sho. And Unbound Codes, Robbie X, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji. They defeated United Empire's Callum Newman, Jake Lee, Jacob Austin Young, and Zane J.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for preview. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you already know what we're gonna start with. Progress. You better get your progress. Chapter 194, Super Strong Style 16 Tournament 2026. This is gonna be day one. We're gonna go over, and day one starts on today. So after this, I got to go watch it. On Triller TV, we have the Strong Style Women's. We're going to go on the women's on this episode first. Kanji versus Emerson Jane.
So wait, Delores. So just to update everybody, Emerson Jane wasn't able to participate in this year's Strong Style tournament. She is being replaced in the Strong Style tournament by Lally. Not Lally, but Lana Austin's tag team partner. I forget what her ring name is, but she's replacing Emerson Jane. I think something happened with Emerson where she couldn't make the tournament.
Okay, so yep. So we have to change with that. The Rio versus Stephanie Mays, Shotzi Blackheart versus LA Tyler. We have Giselle Shaw versus Scott Smithson. When it comes to the men's side of the tournament of the quarterfinal match, we have Simon Miller versus Jay Joshua. We have Charles Crowley versus Elijah Blum. We have Charlie Sterling versus Leo Rush. Can't wait for that match. And then we also have a match for the Progress World title, no disqualification match, where Man Like Delores will face Car Noir. Okay? We are going to go on to J News, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and we're going to go on to Wrestling Dantaku 2026. And it's going to be day one.
Yeah, day one happened this morning, but here are the matches. We had Taguchi, Taisei Nakahara, and Tiger Mask go up against Master Wato, Toru Yano, and Yo. Master Yasuda and Tomoaki Hanma, they're going to go up against the Knockout Brothers. Eldest Parado, Mystico, Taichi, and Yu Uemura, they're going to go up against TMDK's Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, Robbie Eagles, and Ryohei Oiwa. United Empire's Great O'Connor, Hanara, and Will Ospreay. They'll be in a six-man tag team match against the Goto Revolutionary Army of Hiroki Goto, Tatsuya Matsumoto, and Yoshihashi. Konosuke Takeshita and Shota Umino are going to tag up, and they're going to go against House of Church members Chase Owens and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. United Empire's Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, Jake Lee, Jacob Austin Young, and Zane J. They're going to go up against Unbound Codes, Daiki Nagai, Drilla Maloney, Robbie X, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Ishimori. Don Fale is going to have a special one-on-one match against Aaron Wolf. For the Never Openweight title match, we're going to have Ren Narita, the champion, go one-on-one against Oleg Bolton. And then for the IWGP Global Heavyweight title match, we're going to have Yota Tsuji, the champion, go one-on-one against Andrade El Idolo. That's night one.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to progress, which happened tomorrow. It'll be day two, and we only got one match, and it's the pre-show UWF rules match where Connor Mills will be facing Mark True. Now on to New Japan Pro Wrestling and day two of Wrestling Dantaku.
Yeah. Day two has the kickoff singles match between Masatori Yasuda and Taisei Nakahara. I'm sure that the senior of the Young Lions there will win that match. Konosuke Takeshi is going to go one-on-one against Chase Owens. Reisuke Taguchi and Tatsuya Matsumoto. We're going to have a tag match against Unbound Co's Daiki Nagai and Gato. In a non-title tag match, we're going to have Shota Umino and Tomoaki Hanma go up against the Knockout Brothers of Osprey and Yuto Ice. Aaron Wolf, Master Wato, Tiger Master Toriano, and Yo will go up against House of Torture members Don Fale, Ren Rita, Sho, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Yujiro Takahashi. El Desperado and Mystico are going to be tagging in a I believe this is going to be for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. El Desperado and Mystico are going to go up against the Ichiban Sweet Boys of Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles. We're going to see Tai Chi and Yuri Uemura tag go up against TMDK's Harley Jackson and Ryohei Oiwa. The United Empires, Francisco Akira, Jake Lee, Jacob Austin Young, and Zane J. They're going to face off against the Unbound Codes, Drilla Maloney, Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji. For the Denver Openweight Six-Man Tag Team Championships, we're going to see Bishop Mountain of Hiroki Goto, Oleg Bolton, and Yoshihashi go up against the United Empire's Great Okan Hanari and Will Ospreay. And then for the IWGP Heavyweight Title match, we're going to have the main event of Callum Newman, the champion, go up against Shingo Takagi.
Hi, Miss Shirley. We're on to the next thing. Next week, because I did not have a clear graphic, we will be talking about and they didn't have any matches listed. The New Japan Road in J News can say KARATSU Ignition to Dominion, that we'll be talking about the start of that. Ladies and gentlemen, WWE will have something next weekend, and you know when there's a WWE, there's a me. We'll be having a Blacklash watch along. I will be posting this before this comes on. So make sure you come, get your cups, get your food. Let's have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, it'll be on the 9th on ESPN. You have to have ESPN Unlimited. If you have Xfinity, it is a part of your app. And so you can get it through there. That's how I've been doing it for the past few. Well, I've been had it, did not know I've been paying out of pocket and then realized it. It will have Oscar facing Io Sky. It will have Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. We'll have for the WWE Heavyweight Title match Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu, and they will probably add some more onto that. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's the end. Oh Lord, we took a little extra time today, but we didn't go too far. We didn't go 3 or 4 hours. So let's go back to the Hit the Road studio where me and J News are comfortably sitting here. We've given you some hot topics, some news. We talked about some things. We reviewed and previewed. But now it's time for J News to show you exactly what he's about. J News, can you tell the good people about yourself?
Yeah. As always, folks, appreciate you guys for watching and chiming in the chat. That's my QR code there on the screen. It gets you to all of my social media accounts via Twitter or Instagram. And also I do written movie reviews on Letterboxd, not just one word or one sentence things, like full fleshed out written reviews. So if you want to read some recent movie reviews of some recent movies that have been out in theaters, y'all can read that on the Letterboxd app or on their website. So just look for my account there on the membership tab, on the members tab, and you will see me back on True Heel Heat tomorrow afternoon as we break down everything that went on between nights 1 and 2 for Wrestling Dentaku. So I'll be back there on True Heel Heat tomorrow, Monday, where it'll be me, SP3, and the return of Sanal. So we'll be doing our reviews on the True Heel Heat network YouTube channel. And then, as always, folks, tune in to us here every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Hit the Road podcast, where it'll be me, your good brother J News, along with the lovely Delores.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much to J News. You all be glad that J News come in here because I don't know what I would do without J News. Also, y'all can see I'm getting my Spanish up. I'm getting my Spanish up. So I'm gonna be a mamacita out here in a minute. Can't control me. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to shout out a few people. Shout out to Miss Shirley, who is in the chat. Miss Shirley has the greatest topics about gardening and life. I learned so much new things. Also, I can't wait to be a full-fledged gardener like Miss Shirley when I grow up, because she has everything, everything. Miss Shirley said she saw The Devil Wears Prada 2 and it was all right. She was kind of disappointed, J News.
Yeah, so I saw that she wrote that. I haven't seen that movie. I'll be honest. I should clarify this. So I go to the movie theaters a lot, but I go and watch what I like to watch. I don't watch everything. At the end of the day, I didn't see the original. I never had the presence of mind to watch the original, and I have no interest in watching.
Okay.
particular
So
sequel.
I secretly, if you all do not know, I don't like to go to the movies, okay? But I have watched The Devil Wears Prada the first one, okay? Because I like a good villain, okay? Especially a villain who ends up kind of softening. Uh, I can do rom coms. Only movies I can't do is like scary movies, okay? I would like to go to bed at night, and those movies do not let me go to bed at night. Even though my significant other and my mother and them love to watch them, and I love to go to sleep and wake up in fear. Okay, that's I don't know. I'm trying to talk Jay News into doing some like Netflix movie documentary reviews. You know, so for us who
I
don't like
don't,
to go
I don't, I
outside,
don't, I don't, I don't watch streamers like that. So yeah, you'll never catch me watching those streaming movies or documentaries and stuff like that. So yeah,
come on now, Jay News. Listen, what about us who don't leave the house now, Jay News? We
Mhm.
we got this. We got to have something.
Then you do that. Then you can
Uh
do that on your own. You can do that yourself. Then
nah, because I've been crapped on somebody moving and then cease and desist. Uh, ladies and gentlemen, check out Workhorse Wrestling Network. Go get up over there. They talk all things AEW. They play games. We're trying to get Jay News to come back over there, even though he absolutely obliterated us while he was there. I tried. That's all I can say. I brought him over there for him to kick my own butt, and that's my own fault. Okay, but at least I tried. Make sure. Who else? Nobody else. I don't see nobody else. Oh, 10. Okay. That's not the right one. I gotta get an updated one for 10. Join the women's closet, ladies. It happens every Friday, 5 p.m. I think it's a later time now. Is it 5 p.m.? It's still 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Right now, it's the three amigos in there. If you want to join and have a good time and talk out your problems and your issues, the women's closet women are the best place for you to do. If you need a website built, if you need anything such as that, 10 is the person for you. Business advice, 10 is up there with people making 5 and 6 figures, learning these things that come to help us at theeducatednatural.com, or if you join her membership on her YouTube channel, The Educated Natural. Okay? Listen, because I'm trying to get to that money. I've been getting to the money. Everybody. No, that's me. Uh, and no problem, Miss Shirley. You know I love Miss Shirley. I love her every time. I'm learning something new. Also, Miss Shirley, I'm learning that today I'm gonna have to clip the roots of my plants because they are all locking together like they have locks in their hair, and I'm gonna have to fix that. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, me and J News appreciate every time you come out, every time you comment, every time you watch. Also, make sure you go over to J News's channel. Okay, we're gonna put it up one more time. If you don't scan the QR code, you can also check it out. Link drops down below. It's JOHNELYFNMG. Cause it's am I pronouncing your name right, Janelle? Because you know I mess up a word. Janelle.
yep.
Janelle, your friendly neighborhood moviegoer, okay? He's my favorite neighborhood New Japan Spanish speaking expert. Okay. Listen, if you need a J News in your life, okay? He know fitness. He can get your body right. He can tell you what movies to see and not to see. He can teach you Spanish. I don't know. I don't know J New cook, but if he can do that, I mean, ladies, it's a good man, Savannah. Y'all got him out in the market like this. Y'all out here shopping for bums and busters when that man right there is sitting right there. J News. Okay? New Yorker. He ain't gonna let you walk on the outside. He ain't gonna let you get hit by a car if the car jump the curb. He gonna take you out to good movies and good food. Okay? That man. Listen, let me repeat. That man is a good man, Savannah. Okay? Okay? Y'all gonna have me out here making game shows for the love of J News.
Nah. We ain't never gonna do that.
If y'all can pick the best movie out of this title of movies, you get a chance. And I know y'all gonna pick some buster movies. J News gonna be like, Y'all gonna be like, J News, how about we stream the OJ documentary? Got to go.
Oh man.
See, look, Miss Shirley agree with me. What a man. Yes, he is. Listen, Miss Shirley don't know him to come in chats and stuff. She know she like J News to influence me to start watching some movies and seeing some things. I got to come in here and tell.
Hey man.
I listen to J News. Sometimes he don't want to tell me, but sometimes he give me a little bit of because J News, if y'all don't go on over there and check him out, he also does like gym stuff. Okay, he can help you get your body right. Okay, now I've been listening to J News and some other people because I have to listen sometimes. I got 25 pounds down, so maybe I might have to get J News service. He'll do a consultation over the little Zoom. He'll talk to you. Make sure you check out J News, okay? Because again, week after week after week. Yeah, I know you be in the bushes. Week after week, I tell you all, I am too cute to go to jail. But for J News, I wouldn't. Bow right in your face, okay? Because I can't take it. 21 people over there. Y'all missing out on J News. Y'all ain't checking out none of J News links. I need y'all to do that, okay? If you watching, repay people. I'm talking to you too. Go rewind back. Scan that QR code. At J News is in the thing, okay? Check out J News. We gonna get J News to at least 50 or 100 by the end of the year. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth and listen to me with your ears, okay? J News needs to get to 50 subscribers on any social media platform, whether it's his 50 more people sometimes. Okay, let me clarify that. 50 more people on his YouTube, on his Instagram. I don't know if he's on Twitter no more. But everywhere that J News is at, and that QR code takes you, you need to subscribe. Okay? Because it's a good man, Savannah. Don't have him out here feeling unappreciated and unwanted. Okay? I tell him he's a good man every time I see him. I tell him, thank you, Jesus, that you showed up for this podcast. But when you don't show up, I'm over here fighting for my life. But when he hear a good man, I'll pick it on right on up. I'll be over there stuttering. He just picks it right on up. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, Miss Shirley, you know I'm a goofball. Like we said all the time, just like Seth Rollins, we came in, we gave you the hot topics. It simmered. We gave you the reviews and the previews, and it starts to burn. And ladies and gentlemen, it's burning so bad, I already done picked my fan out, okay? I'm already hot in this piece. It is burning. And then I say to myself, Self, as I'm scrambling to figure out how to get out and how to get my people out, okay? How to free my people from these shackles of flames. I realized to myself, I got one thing I can do to help y'all, and that is if I cut the lights off. Cut off the lights. But don't light that candle because that's how we got here in the first place, okay? We don't want to go back. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, me and my good brother J News, we want to say we appreciate you, and we want to say peace.